Good evening. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fool's Landing, our Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition campaign set in the Forgotten Realms. We're playing Session 44 tonight. I'm Jamie. I'm going to be the Dungeon Master. And tonight we've got a full slate of players starting left to right on my screen with Tim. Good evening.
Tim, I'm playing Griff, a 5th level human ranger.
Good to have you. And then up, I've got Wayne. Hello.
Hello, I'm Wayne. I'm playing a 5th level as well, cleric, aquatic elf.
Perfect. And then we have Chris. Hello.
There, I'm playing Kurza, the 5th level elven mage.
Perfect. And then I have up on my screen next Brandon. Hello.
Hi, yes. I am Brandon. I am playing Nod, a Minotaur Shadow Thief. I believe I am 5th level, getting pretty close to 6.
All right. And then up is Molly.
Hello, I am playing Gregor Carrywell, a 3rd level fighter in Way Over His Head.
Truth. There's truth that.
True.
For sure.
And then last but not least, hello, Adam.
Hey, I will be playing Bartholomew. I believe he's still 5th level cleric of our Priest of Lyra.
Let's double check that. Hello, everybody, and yeah, welcome. Here's our breakdown of the characters. And yes, we've got a whole bunch of 5th level and a 3rd level to Molly's point that's in over his head. And I think that, yeah, Griff, you had already leveled up, so I think you had known that as well. Everybody's sort of maybe a couple thousand away. In some cases, looks like Nod and maybe Bart not too far behind, but definitely Gregor after this session will likely level up.
So close.
Right on the
Okay,
edge.
guys, let's go kill some rats so I can level up. No, I'm kidding.
Almost made it. Almost made it, Gregor. Good. Almost made it. But we'll kick things off with a little recap of last session. I know we were shorthanded last session. You can see, I think the turn order is on the screen. So we were in the midst of an interaction, I'll call it for now. But the group had wandered around through the Underdark a little bit further, following Renwick and his lead through several different caverns. Does anyone want to fill in anything they remember from last session leading up to the combat we finished with? I want to say it was just Nod, Wayne, and Chris.
I really don't
Right,
remember a lot.
yeah, I can give it a shot. We started at the entrance of the Underdark, or I'm sorry, at the end of the labyrinth, and we were talking and trying to figure out what the plan was, and we got worried about Amithra. And so we had a momentary break where we had to convince Balin that Amithra was a more worthy cause than going to Mithnanthar. He wouldn't be here without her, and that we would return to Mithnanthar, but first we want to bring our friend Amali back, and we convince him to continue journeying with us until we can return. Then we started our trek through the Underdark with Renwick and Bade, and I think we followed Renwick for the most of the way. We had to go through some narrow ledges. We had to wait in a mushroom forest for about an hour until Renwick eventually showed.
Yeah.
I want to say at one point we encountered some quicksand almost, or mud, and we had to navigate it essentially. It was a solid, or what was it, quicksand or mud, or was it acid or something?
There was
I wanna
mud,
say it was a type of,
definitely, yeah. And
right.
I think, yeah, if I can bring up the old map.
I want to say it was sulfur or something whenever you said it. I could be wrong.
Here's
But
the map.
we essentially had to navigate that, and as we were navigating, the party were going through saving throws. Something was starting to affect their mind and dig in and affect them, and I think by the time we navigated through, we all made it. We had to leave some of our stuff behind due to some of the mind effects. Some people were moving slow and couldn't carry as much, and so we ended up having to leave some of our haul behind, but moving the bodies forward and everybody safely was more important.
Let me
Yeah,
add.
and again, Renwick told us to wait in the mushroom forest near a log for him to return, and eventually he did return. And we made a little basin here, sticking some of our stash and everything, while we prepared to move forward. And that is when we were interrupted by a Illithid, a mind flayer,
Yep.
who is seeking to get us to aid him and distracting or fighting the beholder that's in the Underdark here, patrolling this area. And
Nod
everybody
wasn't having
was
it. Nod wasn't.
right.
having
Everybody
it.
was a little hesitant, and Nod just found this to be bad all around, and so he threw the first strike. I think he missed, and that in retaliation, the Illithid went back behind Quig.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
exactly where we left off. Exactly. Perfect.
Eating Quig's brain, right?
Yeah,
Busily-
essentially. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he had his tentacles wrapped around Quig's head and was feasting on some of his innards, so to speak. So that's what the party turned around to see once you were all situated here. I think I've got the
Just a
image
D.
here. Where was it?
I know.
So here's here we go, the mind flayer on Quig. I think if you can see that on the screen, we've
Mine
got the
just
mind.
says-
Yeah,
Let's see. Oh, because
that's pretty interesting, actually. Not Quig, no. I liked him. He was my favorite. The most.
Oh, that's yeah. I think I don't have all of my characters. Let's see. So I'm missing Bart, and we copy these guys over. So I got everybody on here. Oh, I already had. I was just missing. Looks like I was missing you, Griff. Can you see the screen, Tim? Now?
No, it just says loading.
Oh, is anyone else's not loading for
Hmm.
them?
I
Picking up some background noise off of somebody as well. But yeah, I think you might want to refresh then, Tim, because I think everyone else is able to see it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. I like how you have the Illithid, his tentacles in Quig.
Yeah. So that's where we'll maybe connect everybody to this moment a little bit, and I'll bring everybody in. Hopefully, everybody can see the screen. And I wanted to give you all a little bit of a description of this particular setting and scene that you're seeing here with basically, let's see.
yeah, same for me. Actually, one sec.
Oh, I wonder if it's,
Might
Maybe
have to
it
re-drag out
might
their
have
token.
oh, it might be,
If you set it on their token.
it's not set for Griff's,
There you go.
and I'm guessing Bart's. No, Bart's looks like, oh wait, no, it's not. Should be good now.
Oh, yeah, I see something.
Funny, it moved. The vision moves where I move. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with his.
He's floating.
Now I can see. All right.
Yep.
Opened up the whole screen. There we go.
I think it has, by default, it puts 240-degree vision on the tokens, which is really annoying. Sorry, but I think you're good now. You will notice that I added a token as well that's on Gregor's shoulder, and that is the Body of a Mithra token. It's a little morbid, but it's been a while, and I don't want to forget that we're carrying around a full-size body while we're playing, so there is a body on the shoulder of Gregor now that you'll see, and we'll have to account for a little bit more just to make sure that we're on top of that, but I thought that would be worth pointing out.
So grim.
Let's see,
So
so
the Illithid did pick the guy that's always drunk, so maybe he'll be wasted after sucking his brain out.
that's interesting that you mentioned that. So he basically slurps out this fluid from Quig's skull as he's attached to him, and at the same time you can see Quig's eyes rolling back into his head and him passing on, and the mind flayer's eyes look like he's like reading. They're going side to side for a few seconds, and then they just get really big and stare at you all as Quig's body slumps over in front of him, and he doesn't say anything to you, but you can hear in your mind his voice. All of you hear this, and he says, it is a tough place to live. Quig's final thoughts were haunting, that he wanted to see the light, and he wanted to be away from the dark. I'm sure all of you must feel a little bit the same way, but he did not struggle, and even through his fear I was able to learn a lot about you. I know that there are those of you who carry markings that would be of interest to the many powers of the Underdark. Moreover, I know that you are carrying the body of one of your fallen, who killed a lich, and whose soul is at risk. And lastly, I know that you follow this gnome deep into the dark, and that your friendships are hanging by a thread. Now, we could continue this.
Can I magic missile him now?
This is almost like voice over a voice, like in your head. Like you can hear him like saying two sentences at once in your head is how fast this is coming to you in your mind. And he says to you that, what will you find when you reach the deep gnomes? What magic would they possibly possess to bring back a dead soul? I can offer you the power of bringing back the dead.
We'll do anything. Anything.
Just ate one of our comrades.
Activate this wand that we got from the Minotaur and see if that'll work.
He says the hand with the mouth, and he looks directly at you, Kurza, and then at you, Bart, and he motions to your forearm. And if you take a look at your, or even in that moment, just remember what it looks like. He's referencing to you. He says the hand with the mouth lurks here, and we could strike at the heart of their settlement if we worked together. Temporarily, of course. But if we eliminate their watcher, then I would be willing to give you some power to bring your friend back. It is better than the deal you will find
Not definitely being skeptical
from the
of,
gnomes.
Not being skeptical of magic and suspicious, you would ask, so what kind of powerful magic is this that you tried to tempt us?
What is this powerful?
Treating one of us.
Oh, what is this magic? He says that
Yeah.
it is the most powerful thing that I know of. It can be anything that you want it to be. If you use it properly, your friend will live again.
Are you offering to do this for us now?
There may be more of you fallen at some point, but at least it is an outcome that's better than going to the tomb of the gnomes. You will know when it is time. There is no escaping without going through the grotto. When you reach the grotto, I will find you. But be careful
We
as
agree.
you move
We
forward
agree.
and play in the dark. Many other things are watching you that will not offer you such deals.
Life is as savage in the Underdark as it is in the sea, but I think that we're going to have to agree.
We don't have a choice.
Not really.
Yeah, maybe a little taken aback, look, Quig's body, just nod in agreement.
We do, but this is a fun path.
I can tell you that Renwick doesn't look too happy about the idea. And I think that he spits towards the Illithid steps forward and spits at him and says, You speak of my people as if they are dead. You know nothing of them. And the Illithid looks like he says something back to Renwick in his mind that he hears that causes Renwick to stop his speaking for a second and look a little bit concerned. So he's at least dissenting. Baden, who I don't have pictured on here, but he is here. I need to find his image.
Can I thieves camp back at Renwick and tell him agree? Just continue.
Activate this wand of the Minotaur at the.
I'm sorry, it
The
cut
mind
out
flayer?
there. It cut out on me there when you were speaking, Brandon.
Yeah, I
Can I
want to look back
activate-
at
oh,
Renwick
sorry.
and look back at Renwick and thieves camp towards him and give him the notion that to play along.
Yeah, and I think even like maybe even then it like occurs to you that he's just got an absolute like deep hatred and mistrust for this thing that he could never play along with. He's having a real hard time with that. So, and I think like even like where you were on the edge of the Underdark, you could understand a little bit of the where that would be coming from on both sides, that they don't necessarily see eye to eye. And so he's concerned that, and he tells you in Thieves' Cant that he says, my people have been attacked, which gives me more urgency to get back. But if I must split from the party, it'll be soon if we run in circles chasing this Watcher. So you guys are thinking about this, and the Mind Flayer disappears. So you are left there with the slumped over body of Quig and his I guess his other your other hireling, your remaining hireling, to discuss what your thoughts are here. But he says he will return.
How far is this grotto, Renwick?
The grotto that he speaks is underneath us. It is a series of tunnels that twist beneath the Underdark. And there's a few ways in, but there's not a place that it's not a pathway I normally traverse. I take the longer route around it.
It's in the grotto.
It is like
What's in the grotto?
It is like a deep, dark wilderness of stone and chasms. Many creatures wander there. Even those of us in the Underdark know of darker places. The grotto is one of them. The Illithids operate in this level. Seeing one this far up is interesting. I would not think they would wander this far. Making deals with surface dwellers, it seems suspicious.
You think we should not follow along? I think we should. Do it for our friend.
I feel like he'll know if we don't anyway.
It's a good way to go out. Be fun.
Something he said about the tattoos that you have, that he knew you knew you had them, and he knew that they contained the symbol of the hand and the mouth that he has seen.
He obviously got it from one of our minds.
And I think with that, the Baden would say, speak up, and he would say, to us it would be known as Moander. The hand with the mouth is the power of corruption and rot and decay. Anything that would worship it would be deep beneath the earth and beneath the Underdark. It seems like it could create a bigger problem, stirring up the interests of an Illithid beneath the Underdark.
Who hasn't seen the tattoo?
We could have been in Myth Nantar by now.
I agree.
Guess
We're
we
not
go
big.
kill the Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask
Yeah.
Renwick.
I'll
how
also
far- From where
Expose
he's
my
picking up.
tattoo so everybody can take a look at it.
Yeah, so you can show them your tattoo and
Yeah.
He tried cutting it off, Curse.
it's harder than a blade when if you would try to do that. It looks like glass. It's shiny and hard, and it doesn't look like it's just stuck to him. It looks like it's a part of him.
React well to dispel magic.
Yeah, I wonder what we would do down here with that. That would be. We may find out.
Crack
But
some stuff. You never know.
so I think that the decision would be that, and Renwick can say that you're about 2.5 days from making contact with his people as far as the speed of travel that this group has in trying to be somewhat stealthy, not necessarily tiptoeing.
We're just achingly slow.
But yeah, what are the group's thoughts then? What do you guys want to do? You want to proceed? Essentially, I don't think you're waiting on him to return to give you for you to give him an answer at the exact moment. You can have a powwow if you want to.
He made us wait for an hour. We can make him wait for 5 minutes to discuss.
Yeah, I was gonna say Griff's vote is to just keep going, whichever way we're going. Going to Renwick, let's keep going. If we're going to Mythnantar, then let's go that way. But whatever it is,
Are we going to the center?
If you're going to continue to follow Renwick and head towards the deep gnomes, then he'll lead you through the Underdark, which is basically what he's saying. If you're wanting to deal with the Mind Flayer, I think chances are you're going to run into him again, and he's going to go out of his way to keep an eye on you and check in with you at some point. So you probably have that opportunity before you reach Renwick's people. So, but yeah, this is definitely concerning for our NPCs as well. But I'll take us back to the map, and we'll take you guys to the next area. Actually, I don't know where we left off on rest or anything like that. Did anybody have?
That's what we were in the middle of until he showed up.
well, when I left, we had just beat 2 Minotaurs a month ago.
Yeah,
Like
so
in July,
it was
the last time I played. So
yeah, no, it's for
I'm
the other
still
guys.
down at 37 out of 50.
All right, basically also is Quig's lifeless body is laying there, which is just in this little corner where you were all huddled up, and you'd come a long way with him, and I think it would start to occur to you that the Quig knew a lot, despite the fact that he didn't go with you every step of the way. He knew a lot, and the Illithid now knows quite a bit about what your party's done, what your motivations are. So those things I think would be resonating a little bit as you see that Quig.
The look of surprise on him when he, I think when Molly killed, or the Imithra killed the Lich.
Yeah.
That I think surprised him.
Yeah, and so there's
So
definitely he has that knowledge now of what your group's capable of, what you've seen, where you've been, and he alluded to the fact that her soul is at risk, and he seemed to know more about something to do with that too that I think would be intriguing to some of you. What does he know, and what does he think? What is he talking about when he talks about that? But otherwise, I think this.
Well,
is...
he also
Go ahead.
Be very definitely want the watcher of the mouth and the hand.
Yes.
More importantly than the elemental, for that matter.
And that's where Renwick is.
The beholder.
Is talking about, and confirms with you that he's talking about a beholder. Yeah.
That doesn't sound dangerous.
No, it doesn't, right?
No.
Either way, you've either got this guy who's going to work with you or work against you, probably. But yeah, what do you guys want to take care of here? I think you're all sitting in the corner discussing your next move. If you're ready to continue to follow Renwick, he can lead the way through.
Clerics, do you guys want to bless Quig's body and kind of lay it to rest?
That might be appropriate.
Yeah,
That or we hollow him?
that's a good start.
We
I think
find,
lay him to rest.
yeah, could we maybe find stone in this place? Make a cairn, kind of bury him?
See,
There's a
Rocks.
bunch of iron.
in this
There's a bunch
particular
of iron ingots and normal long swords.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bury him in gold.
Or we could
yeah,
bury him in the quicksand.
yeah, you've got
Or
the
grab a
pool
mushroom head
that you could
and
throw him in.
put him on that and burn him.
That's it. Lay him to rest in the mushroom fungus. Throw some stones over.
I think this will affect the morale of your remaining hireling, to be honest with you. What would you really be doing? Because the other guy who considers himself Quig's peer is basically thinking, this is what they're going to do if I get my brain eaten. This will be what they do with me. They'll just leave me in the corner and go wandering off. And so
It's a cruel life. This
it is. It's a
world.
cruel life for this hireling. So what is the party's plan with Quig's remains?
As far as this mushroom forest, do we bury him there?
100 foot away.
Yeah,
You can do a meld, stone, the mud. We could even tomb him someplace. We could do that.
yeah. I'll let you, for now, decide where that is. But this little corner that you were in was all stone, so it would be the only real option here would be to just cover the body in stones if you're trying to do that. But if you take it out and you continue back, or you go backward towards the mushroom forest, you could potentially try to bury it there or back beyond it where the quicksand or not the quicksand, but it was mud was. So Renwick will look like at you guys to decide if you want him to, he should lead you there, or if you're going to do something else.
I'll leave it to you, the clerics, the priests, and you guys. I think we owe him, to be laid to rest in some way, and have a blessing on him. And I'll say one, too, but you need to find a place to put him, and then let's move on.
We could take him back 100 yards. I think we could find a place to bury him.
Okay, so I guess go back to the mushrooms and find an appropriate place.
Yeah,
build
here
a little cairn and
we'll
say some blessings over him.
I'll move you
Yep.
guys there just so that everyone has this on their map. This area is where Renwick will lead you. This was where there was an open chamber and a pool that you didn't want to get your belongings immersed in, but you were able to walk through at least up to your waist and cross, except it started to get a little bit muddy and sink and pull people down a little bit. So that before that area, before the pond, there's a place that's got enough dirt build up that you could dig a hole and have a proper burial for Quigley, who's now down under. Sorry, I had to do it.
Felt like you.
They,
Dad
yeah,
jokes.
I think that will go a long way. That dad joke will go a long way with the hireling for the fact that you took the time to do it. I guess if that's it, I think the only other situation now is that it's difficult
We
to.
won't make the hireling do the digging.
Yeah, this might be the one time that you all would do that, but you're able to do that and get that taken care of to your satisfaction, and then you can head back in the direction you were. This was the mushroom forest, is the mushroom forest. There's a lot of different varieties of large cap mushrooms in here, some bioluminescent and others just.
Wasn't there like a blue one that we found that would crack open and that would turn to light, last like a day or something?
Yeah, there's a mushroom type that you can use to grab temporary light from and bring it with you.
My herbalism or underground survival help, or foraging help with anything here to identify things, find anything useful, sources, anything like that.
I think that Renwick had already grabbed a few edible ones, but let's see. What other kind are there here? a lot of these would be like, some of these are like antidotes that you know of for poisons. Some of these mushrooms can be used for that. That would be one of the things that you could determine which ones are useful for being antidotes. So if you want to make a check,
Bring some of those.
like I can tell you what you're able to find there.
To just
Oh
I
no,
have some
eat.
little
that's crazy.
note about nightshade mushroom we found.
He said. So
Yeah.
herbalism was relevant though.
Yeah, you can use that.
Wow.
Wow, Griff, that's
I'm getting all the bad ones
look
out of the
at
way.
there. You all are just on fire here. I think these are just
Wow.
too exotic.
Oh my-
You're in the middle of the Underdark that's underneath a
Just
sea
saw an
above
Illithid
you.
eat
So
a dude's brain.
yeah, it's definitely there's a lot
little
going on.
distracted.
Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely a few uses that some of these that you've been able to determine, and at least Renwick's familiar with them, so he's given you a couple of them, and he can provide you with some of the ones that there's one that slows poison, and there's one that's an antidote to poison, and he can harvest those. The poison for the one that's the antidote is for what is it for? I forget, but anyway, you can hang on to these, and Renwick will have a couple in his pocket. He continues to lead you guys through here. What's your marching order now that we've got a full group? Who's in front? Who's in back? Who's in the middle? We can do 2-2-2.
No, did we want to go back to we were doing it before? I guess Renwick's kind of leading us, but
Yeah, Renwick could lead. I'd be in the back. I'd probably be in the back in this scenario.
I'll follow Renwick. About 5 feet back. Are these 5 feet squares?
Yes, I think so.
I think so, yeah. Oh, maybe they're 10 foot. These must be. These are supposed to be 5. Hold on. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, there we go. So Renwick will continue to lead you through. You've got who's in the back. Just leave it like in the order that you're sitting here. But he leads you out into this open area where you see again this pool of what looks like clear liquid, and in from the pool there's like, it looks like a tree growing from the pool, but you actually notice later that it's stalagmites and stalactites that are twisted and make the shape almost of a tree that's coming from this pool of water, seemingly. Renwick points down and like nods like to you, Griff, at least first. Don't touch the water. Stay away from the water. And he starts to bring you through this area. This is where
I'll pass on the message as we go. So touch the water to Kurza.
Yeah.
I can imagine, like, by the end of it, the game of telephone, all Nod hears is touch the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a bath. Yeah. So
It's hard. You're thirsty, right?
I cannot grab my character for some reason.
let's see what's going on.
I can highlight it, manipulate the numbers, but
Here, if you have it highlighted, try moving the arrow keys on your keyboard. Let's see if it'll.
Stuck in a wall?
Maybe that might be
Looks
what
like
it was.
he's stuck in a wall. Hey.
I
There we
moved
go.
you up the wall. Yeah, that's
Thank
what it was.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim. That's what it was. Hate when that happens.
All right. I'll back up my secondary.
Accidentally walk into a wall.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is where Renwick pauses when he gets to this terrace, and it looks like he's giving the motion to you all that you need to be quiet during this next little section. So he starts moving as stealthily as he can, which he can move fairly stealthily, down this little terrace and into a little landing where he heads down and around the corner. So for everybody who's coming through this, you can just do, if you've got some type of stealth non-weapon proficiency, you can roll that, but if not, just roll a Dex check to see how quiet you're able to move. Yeah.
Ching, ching.
Okay, so far, just Molly.
Good lord.
Gregor's moving so slow.
Because you gotta beat it by a lot more than that.
That's why. Yeah, he's quiet.
Yeah, so you guys are making a lot of racket as you're moving, and I think it's starting to, you're seeing that as slow as you move, even, every little thing that you do that's not perfectly quiet echoes. And so being quiet down here is really difficult for those of you that don't naturally have any stealth ability. It's everybody can hear where you're at all the time almost. Your breath is echoing off of the walls. Like you definitely feel like you're vulnerable in that sense. And the gnome, and maybe even more so like Nod, they're able to move through this relatively unseen, but the rest of you are having a hard time. It's like an obstacle course. As you're making your way through and past this corner, you get up to this point here, and you see, let me move everybody down into this. Was somebody moving the, what's the guy's name? Forget his name.
I can move
Yeah, I was
quick.
moving
or
the other
not
guy.
quick.
Iliac.
What's the other guy's name?
Yeah.
Iliac.
Iliac?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can move him.
Yeah, it looked like someone was. I was just curious if that was working. You get to this point and you hear a voice come from this corner up here, and when you look over, you see your not-so-friend, the Illithid, reveal himself and step forward, and he says, "Oh, off so soon? And where are we headed to?"
Not here.
Yeah, heading
Yeah.
to save our
Give him
friends.
silent- Give him the
Your
silent treatment.
fear speaks volumes. I'm sure that you will turn around and come back.
There's not really many paths.
Though my deal will not be a deal when you come back. There are very few that will offer you an alliance in this place. Best be careful.
And tell us about the Watcher.
The Watcher. He works for Moander.
Mountain.
He is his eyes. He makes sure that no one enters his corner of the grotto. For Moander is a pile of rot and decay. He lay there while the Watcher makes sure no one approaches. But I know of the treasure that he sits upon. And I know that we could get more than enough power to make it worth all our while and bring your friend back from, if you choose. But I should warn you about Veridis, for even I have heard of him. Even his life was significant enough to reach me in this dark place. And I could tell you that your friend is at risk of losing their life to Veridis yet again. For his soul is in her body now. And if you bring her back, you will be unleashing Veridis again.
That's done.
We definitely don't want that.
No, but he's trying to force us to go his way. We already turned him down.
You will need more than just divine intervention to save this one, but so be it. And if the Watcher finds you, and when he finds you, your regrets will feel as dark as this place.
Are we making the wrong choice? Group.
I'm pretty sure that
No,
Griff
we
doesn't
can't
know
hear
anything about Illithids and what they are. I'm gonna kind of turn. Did the Illithid disappear? Is he still there?
I'll leave him there.
I'll turn
you
to
guys
Bade
hear me?
And
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I hear you now.
Yep.
Did you have some thoughts on that, Adam?
So we have no
I think
description
Chris
who this
did, yeah.
Watcher is.
Watcher's the
there,
Beholder,
we
right?
have no description on who the Watcher is. Is it the Beholder or something else?
The
The
Beholder, I believe.
Yeah, you believe it
mouth
to
and the
be.
hand Watcher.
You believe that he's it's a beholder, and that he is working for Moander, who is one of the one of the symbols represented on your bond. Intriguing from that respect, that kind of lingers here. But beyond that, like, as
Well, in
far
that case, he has increased his offer to get us to cooperate
he's giving you more information,
because he was more information and
but what
offer
what he's
Isn't
telling
it kind
more
of
power to
what he's telling
you
you
Mithra.
what he's telling you is that what you want is, and he's telling you that bringing a Mithra back to life is going to bring Veridis back with her. That's what his other new piece of information is that he mentioned. And the only reason he knows about this is because he absorbed Quig's
Read our mind.
memories, and so he has anything that Quig saw. He knows about those discussions. He knows what Quig saw and heard and all those kinds of things. But yeah, it's as far as like your feeling around this thing, it's like speaking to you in your mind. The hair on the back of your neck is standing up when it's around. It never blinks. It's always got eye contact with you. It's very intense and certainly not something you want to be around for a long period of time. But again, it's like you're in a weird place, and the whole thing is probably fraught with risks. It's just another choice along the way.
Here's how I see
It
it.
sounds to me like we're going to engage the beholder either with his help or without his help. Sounds of it.
Yeah,
So
he
he's
may
saying.
have bad
Right, so
juju, but he's a potential ally. The last time we trusted someone, it helped us. So why don't we trust him?
is he also implying that
An
in
enemy
order
of
to
my
help
enemy.
Mithra, it would be a better option to go his way? Or is bringing her alive, he was going to help with that? That's what we're going to release Veridis. Either way, just as great a danger.
I think if for those of you who are the spellcasters, I think you're thinking that he's probably talking about a wish spell is what he's getting at.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Sounds like godlike power to me.
It can
So,
be.
let's go. Molly's right. Why not? The other guys are right. Might as well just take his help. If it's going to be either way, might as well do it with it and hope he doesn't
So you
suck somebody's
see
brain.
Grib bow his head and be silent for a little bit, and then he goes to Baden and says, "Baden, can you help us, counsel us? I've never dealt with this type of a creature like this before."
Yeah, and Baden, I think, is gonna take whatever route gets him to fulfill his obligation, so that you will all, or that he can go to Mithnantar. So that's probably like for him thinking that he never wanted to follow Renwick this far before. He doesn't think that Renwick has what he offers, and so he was going to go the other direction. The only reason he came this way was because the group pleaded with him and made a deal with him that if he joined you, that you would help him get back there. He's probably 100% for dealing with the Mind Flayer, but not selling out to the Mind Flayer, but at least taking the chances, because he still doesn't know like what Renwick's end game is. So that's where Baden's head is. He would be leaning towards working with the thing, because if he can get the ability to cast a wish spell, it could be enough to work it out. There's hope there.
I know I
his
just
mind.
don't know the nature of this creature. Is it a evil creature? Is it a trickster? I don't know these creatures. It's not natural.
Yeah, and it's like,
I know bears and wolves and birds and stuff like that. I don't know.
yeah,
those.
it's like designed to be impossible to read as far as emotion. It has none. It's completely monotone and expressionless, other than maybe its eyes might open wider at certain points. Beyond that, it just always looks like this intense stare. And so yeah, I think it's wise to ask.
Probably as intelligent as a dragon.
And I think that just in and of itself, it's an very intelligent creature, extremely intelligent, and of course it has a lot of information about you all. So it's using that to manipulate you into helping it and to doing something that it wants, and that's very much par for Illithids, and that might be what you would take from this. That is a little bit of their MO.
Is there any way
Go
that
with
you
whatever
can
the party wants to
guarantee
do.
what you claim?
Yeah.
If Nan looks at the Illithid and asks him, is there anything you can do to guarantee what you're saying will come true? We will join you. So we need to guarantee that you can, again, help.
I cannot guarantee what you will do with the magic that I give you, but I can guarantee you that I will give you the power to change yours and her situation.
Before or after we defeat the Watcher?
As useful as she would be to me before, it will have to be after.
Why? You'll see, like, Nod's eyes squinting as he's, like, being suspicious again.
There's something of mine that belongs to me that the Watcher has taken, and I intend to get it back. With it, I will gladly give you your chance to save your friend, but the one thing I cannot guarantee is that you will all be around to decide, for the Watcher is very powerful and is treacherous. We must face it with cunning and strike quickly, for once it gets its gaze upon us, even I cannot disappear from it.
Gregor is all in, and he says, "Do you have a plan to defeat this Watcher with our help?"
Your numbers are many, perhaps too many. I'm thinking a diversion. Some of you who can draw its attention will give the others ability to ambush it, but we will have to. Before I reveal more, I must know. Will you join me?
I look pleadingly at
Yeah.
everyone.
We have to.
Nod might look back to Renwick and tell him to draw me a map to get to where you are, just in case that he should go see his family, see his friends.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I missed what
I
you
think
said.
that is best for Renwick. Renwick and Thieves' Cant should draw us a map to get to him. Worst comes to worst, so we have a getaway plan. But it sounds like he should go see his family. It doesn't sound like he would cooperate with this thing.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not going to do that, and so he could do that. I think that there would be, let's see. So there's like a writing method that the deep gnomes use that's for directions, but it's just basically like a shorthand that you write, and it almost looks like an ancient text, but it's just little symbols that are telling you which directions to go at different points as you're following a line. And so he orients you to this and gives you basically a copy of this. He'll make you a copy and give this to you and say that this is the way, this is how you follow this, and if you should happen to get close, anywhere close to where this is leading you, I or someone from my clan will find you, and we will welcome you. But yes, I could never go along with this, and I really must get back at this point.
Yes, and he'll nod and thank him and take the map and notes and bid him farewell.
Then I wish you all the best. I don't want to leave you like this, but I understand you're doing what's best for your friend. Hopefully you will find your way out the way we came back in, but seldom does that happen.
I'm not assured that we will, but God's willing, perhaps.
Yes, then good fortune to all of you. I wish you well in your endeavor. And
Good luck.
he will walk off in the northerly direction, leaving the rest of you here. Let me move the map a little bit.
We're gonna miss that guy.
Looking for the token.
Maybe a bit of help we could have used.
And then, yeah, maybe you'll see Nod getting closer to Baden at this point and says, looks like you'll get your wish to get to Myth and Anthar sooner than you thought.
Yes, we should have been there by now, though. And we wouldn't be putting ourselves into as much danger, I think. But very well. We will see what this leads to.
Persia said, we have to face this thing one way or another. Probably our best option, even if it's slower.
All right, so they look very pleased at this point that the group has decided to follow it, and it will tell all of you then, if you are prepared, I will lead you towards the grotto. But bear in mind, I have no way of covering your noise and smell, so you must continue to be cautious. I will give you some warning if I sense anything. So he begins heading this way through the Underdark and leads you guys to this.
Is it the time and place to start being noisy to draw attention?
I
Yeah,
think
he-
us being silent is just really not going to work out in general. Anyway,
Yeah, so what I think then what you all would be doing was before he leads you any further towards the grotto, he would look to you all to... He has some understanding of what your abilities are, but not a complete understanding, and he would enable a conversation about the tactics of attacking this thing. All he can really tell you is that as soon as it sees something, it's going to move towards it to investigate it. It's going to try to neutralize it. It's going to use all of its powers to do. And so dropping some type of bait or putting somebody into harm's way is probably going to be his plan, unless someone else has another one. And then even once that happens, the question is who's going to be in the attacking and in what way, because one of the things he failed to mention before you agreed to go with him is that the beholder has some magical resistance. So there's a chance that if you try to cast a spell on it, that it may or may not even affect it ultimately. So that's a risk that
Okay.
you'll take.
So if we were going to cause a cave in the grotto and where it's at, that might hurt it.
If it were well executed, of course, but it does have stalks with eyes that gaze in all directions. Again, we would need it to be moving towards something that's drawn its attention.
Too late to go back and get Quig's body.
that's what I'm thinking. That's a great bait right there. We left bait behind,
And
guys.
just cover Iliag's here so you don't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
Should
Well,
all be okay.
There's always
The live bait.
Anybody
Uh,
have an illusory mirror image or anything like that?
that would be a Curza thing.
I have mirror image.
Maybe looking at Baden, do you have any illusionary spells?
Can we send an arrow through the grotto and land it somewhere else to make noise? Throw a rock? Anyone have a sling?
Our rogue could do all that as long as he's stealthy enough to sneak in somewhere in the dark. Lead the attack.
Yeah, so basically...
Definitely.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mess that up. I was going to say we definitely cast a prayer before we get into combat. Remember, just we get close to this, tell us, warn us.
Yeah, so I'm not thinking strategically. If we stand our best chance, the casters will be better off standing in the back, buffing, distracting, and doing whatever they can to help because they can't directly affect this thing. the melee nod Griff, if Iliac's filling up for it, and Gregor would be in the Mind Flayer would be the ones charging forward to attack, but we would need some kind of element of surprise to actually do that, or else we won't make it there.
Anyone figure out? I've known thieves that could potentially use magic like a wand or something like that. We have this wand from the Minotaur, but we don't know what it does. It could be a potential help, but again, we don't really.
I think what the Mind Flayer would relay to you all is that the beholders, most of the beholders effects that it has, and each stock has a different effect, would take place within a range of 60 feet or so. So once it's within 60 feet of you, it's going to very likely just levitate out of reach and start to attack from a distance. That's where the casters and the range that you all have will come into play to try to counteract or reach it back with your own effect. And that's what that's what the challenge is with these things, is getting it from a distance, but not always being able to use magic effectively against it.
What is the height of the grotto?
It's
where it is.
It's varying heights, and there's no sure thing as far as to the space it's going to be in when you find it, but it tends
What's
to
the
roam
highest
the
point?
open areas, so it tends to roam around in the open areas. So there's big open cavernous drops that are hundreds of feet deep in the grottos. So these things roam around throughout those areas.
That sounds like sounds like the Mind Flayer has never seen the grotto.
No,
Kind
you
of
get the
a
sense that it has.
Wishy-washy explanation.
You get the sense that it's seen the grotto before. I'll show you an image that will give
Okay.
you a little bit of better sense of what he's talking about.
What's the max height on the ceiling from the theoretical floor?
It could be
Between
over 100 feet.
5 feet and 1,000.
Yeah, so here's an image of sort of what the grotto looks like, and anywhere within this you could run into this thing. So for him to tell you like exact distances, it's really going to be situational, and luring this thing, it's more about what would be the right place to try to lure it to so that you have the ability to affect it. And
Okay.
But yeah, it's like big open expanse and then little smaller caverns that are interspersed. So
We need to have ranged weapons available
indeed,
so that
indeed.
they can. The Wand of Earth and Stone can definitely affect a lot of the surrounding parts of the grotto. Make it bigger, make it collapse, who knows? So if he wants to go hide somewhere, we can make it harder to run. Here, have 1,000 tons of rock fall on you.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I need a minute to pull my map up, but so you guys, if you have anything else you wanted to...
Unless you want to give me a day to try and figure out what this Wand of the Minotaur does. But then we're sitting around in the dark with a Mind Flayer for another day.
Yeah, for a whole nother day.
I feel that's
I'm at
something we would
37
not.
out of 51 hit points.
21 out of
Well, that's
25 here.
Is there anything the Mind Flayer can do to get it to max up our hit points before we engage?
No, not the Mind Flayer does not have healing ability. Anything that could heal you.
Do we still have healing mushrooms?
But you did have that. I don't think anybody's consumed that yet.
So then you probably should.
Yeah,
Does Bart have any of his spells back after the last session? I don't.
Yeah,
Some talk about whether
you would have been
guys-
able to get back at least a day's worth of recovery for spell recovery.
Provided I don't need to save a bunch of stuff for combat. Throw out some cure lights.
hoping we can save those. Rely on the. See how far mushrooms take us here. Hoping we'll be all right.
I have a signal whistle. That might
I don't-
cause a whole lot of noise and just echo endlessly.
I
If we
do have an ability as a second level wizard to cast misdirect once a day.
Oh, okay.
Me
I
That's
don't
Oh,
know.
or you?
I do.
You
Art,
do? Cool.
Art does, yeah.
that could
Here's the
be helpful.
description.
Well, I'll
So
be the bait. I'll be the bait if Iliac will carry a Mithra.
presumably, if the beholder is using like magical means to inspect or try and detect someone, let's say we made someone invisible, the misdirect spell would misdirect them. I don't know if that helps a lot, but
I was looking at the rods. It depends on the class. Normally, when you identify the rod, it tells you what classes can actually use it. I think most people can use a wand of magic missiles, but like only priests and wizards can use a wand of fear, for example, because it's just based off a class.
That makes sense.
What do I need to do to make these healing mushrooms?
I do have the spell Spider Climb if someone wants to
So I think
use that could be useful.
the mushrooms that were you could consume, and I guess if you had those in the party inventory, you just need to knock it off out of there. But it's just basically like a healing potion would be.
Did anyone write them down?
not really. I don't think we took
What's that?
like urban inventory.
The glow mushrooms? Is that what you're saying for the healing mushrooms?
Healing, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we
I wanna
each got one,
say-
right?
No, I think he just gave us one, and I think he gave it to you.
Oh, that was. Are you talking about the one from the Myconid
Yeah.
powder?
Oh,
Yes. I think it was just one.
Yeah, that's what it was though. That's what I thought you were
That's
referring
Just
to.
like a bag that everybody within 5 feet gets.
yeah. I
That's
don't
right.
think we used that. Did we?
No, we have not. That's the only healing that I know that we have of
Yeah.
sparingly other than magic.
Yeah, so if you
How do we use it?
you basically would throw that
Yeah.
spore into the air, and everyone within that radius would get the same amount of healing as a regular minor healing would. If you're doing the whole thing, it's what is that? 3d8 plus 3 or something, or 2? 3d8 plus 2. So if someone wants to roll 3d8 plus 2 and everyone gets close enough, you would get the benefit.
Currently has that. So I'm thinking it should.
Everybody ready?
Oh, sorry. What were we rolling?
3d8
Or
plus
for
2,
the
and everybody gets it.
I think it's
So we all
just
gotta huddle
heal who
up
needs
first.
healing. Or is anyone
Who's
else
all that
doing
hurt?
HP?
No.
I think it's just
Yeah.
grip. Might be more
I'm at
worth
37.
saving that and using
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
agree.
thinking.
healing spell.
Yeah,
Uh,
if anybody's got any kind of healing, just, you know.
You have 2 clerics. As Adam said, yeah, I guess we do have to waste some spells. Not waste, but use up some spells. So
I've got the
yeah, I can toss.
I've got the map ready on my side, but yeah, if you're done casting spells or whatever, I'll move you over into the map, and then we could take a quick break, and then we'll come back and cut over. Actually, let's do it that way.
how many
Do any
first
of
level
you-
spells do you have a day, bro? I've got 5.
Same thing. Yep. So
Okay.
I could throw out 2 or 3 of them and still be left with at least a couple.
Does anybody want a Spider Climb?
Couldn't hit me, Adam.
You might have a better combat
Art.
spell.
All right.
If you're
buddy.
putting it out
How
there,
far-
maybe Urza.
4,
but
5, 6.
Oh,
What's that?
Oh, we got 6
Jesus.
astonishing fortunes.
We might need it for later. I don't know. Here. we'll
Yeah,
throw-
I'll die.
come on.
That's like a 5.
you want to give
I'll
them
take
one
the.
Seharn
I'll
and
spend 10 minutes and redo a Spider Climb instead of another spell. That way, it's something that is activating on us and not the
That's-
creature.
Yeah,
Single person.
I'll give you guys all a chance to prepare something before the encounter starts, since you're going to be trying to lure it towards you. I imagine everyone would have something readied. If there's spells that you're going to cast pre-battle, certain positions and everything, we'll establish that. So let's just take a 5-minute break and then we'll come right back and then we'll get into that battle scene and see if we can't resolve it.
There's an 8 cure for you, Griff.
I'll be right back.
Oh, did he leave already? Catch that,
Yeah,
Tim?
yeah,
Good.
5-minute break or 5-10 minutes. If there anyone is still here, I'm thinking I have some weapon black. That with some spider climb, with some weapon black, with hiding in shadows, putting down all the bodies in gold. Might climb around on the ceilings and might be able to come down through the air. See how this goes. Sneak attack.
If you have to get to the critter or get away from it, depending.
If I need to
somebody
make a
wants it.
bounding leap to get away.
It's only 3 rounds, so it's not a
It's
whole.
okay.
Yeah,
What else are you replacing though?
magic missile.
Is it okay? So maybe mirror
Yeah, it's
images
just
might
for
be the way. If you have 500 mirror images, it'd be hard to hit you with all those eyes. That's what I'm worried about. The person who gets seen is probably going to get it.
Yeah, so what's the plan? Who's going to be the bait?
Do we have a mirror? I do have a mirror. I don't think that works. That's a basilisk, right?
Let's see. The
Uh,
1d4 plus 1 mirror images.
That's an idea. What if we use the mirror to, for example, you're standing at the right angle to displace a image per se, and you can dance, make fun to lure it and attack. It might waste one of its eyes or a turn.
Yeah, and you drop prone so that you'll be
Oh, I
not
would say you
less
just be
likely to be
behind
hit.
cover, just hiding.
Yeah.
Don't
All
be
of the
anywhere
mirror
near
images will
it.
also drop prone.
Oh, because it'll be exact mirror. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't want to go dancing because that'll be an obvious lure for it. So if it's smart, it'll recognize that and stay away or advance in a much different way.
If Kurza was somehow unseen, would his mirror images still be visible?
That's a good question. Although if I was the beholder, I would use an area of effect weapon against me.
I was gonna say, and this is metagaming, but don't beholders have dispel magic out of their main eye?
I think it's at least one of them. I think there's disintegrate in there somewheres.
Are they
Yeah.
immune to paralyzation? That's another metagame, but I have a powder of paralyzation.
Oh, that's right, from the trap.
I was thinking just use the wand of earth and stone and turn the roof above it into mud.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Because then it may drop it down to the ground and damage it slightly. And maybe disoriented for a round.
Blind it.
And it's also possible it could cause if I do it enough, it may cause the whole grotto to just collapse.
Do we have any Molotov cocktails?
I have 1 flask of oil. I think we all might have dipped the oil flask in the blacksmith area.
I tossed mine. The Minotaurs.
Yeah, I don't think I have any.
I still have the fire breath spew from Renwick.
Don't know if
We want to get it.
still
Yeah, we
active.
want to try to blind it somehow.
We rested a couple of times. I don't know if it would still be active.
I'm at 42 out of 51 right now on hit points. Only down 9.
Do you have any good books? Maybe you can put a book on the ground. Maybe we can appeal to its higher intellect. Maybe it wants to read.
I was for debating about the crown. Still have that crown. I don't know if that'll help or what we could use it for, but just keep in mind that the Illithid doesn't know. He wouldn't know about it unless he read my mind. Quig didn't know about it. Never saw it.
Baden would tell you that beholders are notorious for wanting to collect magical items and rarities, and something like the crown being more like an artifact would definitely be something that would get its attention. So it's a good idea. I think obviously you got to get its attention first, and then maybe that becomes something. Or if you left that in the right place, where it could stumble upon it. But definitely, it would be very curious about it.
I guess Nod might pick up one of those short bows. If we need some range, he only has 2 hammers. He's not going to waste those, throwing them into an open pit.
Do we know
We
what the
might pick
crown's
up one of
powers
those short
are
bows.
at all?
No, we've
No.
never identified it.
Yeah, it was too dangerous. Right?
But so we'll go ahead, jump back in,
Yes.
and I think the question is, this is a little bit what Tim was asking, is basically what are some ways that you could get this beholder's attention. And so first, let's talk a little bit about the path to get there. And back in our map,
And again, Tim, did you catch that last D8 I threw out there?
No, I didn't.
It was 8 hit points.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Oh, yeah, there's spider climb. And okay. Yeah, I'm at 50 out of 51.
Good.
I'm ready for combat.
so the Flayer moves up to this point in the cavern and takes you down a winding walkway, and it descends for a while into an opening, and it looks like that image that I just showed you previously, this one here, when you immerse or enter into that area. And there's like a big open space where the Mind Flayer thinks you want to try to confront this thing. And I'm going to put you on the map here for what the space looks like. And it's hard to say exactly which direction it would come from. There's multiple ways in and out of this. It's just twisted and open, high ceiling in here. But there's definitely some cover that could be taken and some places that might give you some positional advantage. So I think the 2 questions for the group are, 1, how do you want to attract this thing or bait this thing? And then 2, where do you want to be positioned, and any preparation that you'll take from that position prior to the luring beginning. So
We want to be in the highest, most advantageous spot. So if there's like a higher cliff that has some stalagmites in the way so that we can hide behind and have a good, decent overview.
all right,
Example down here, like up
This
here,
is-
for example, or whatever this is, we could see for the most part the map, and then spellcasters have vision but could hide behind cover.
I meant to tell you guys earlier too, and that from the last session, Zalthun is the Illithid's name, and so Zalthun will lead you to this place, and it has a overwhelming odor of decay and rot and filth in this particular cavern, where he finally says, this is where I've seen him patrol in the past, but I cannot tell you or predict when he will be here. So find your position, and let's make this pact formal.
We need to just wait for him. Is that where we're at? Till this thing wanders by?
Potentially.
So it sounds
Well-
like.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. We get the high ground, we put the crown down below where we can see it. Positions where the people can come down quickly, the melee fighters.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, go ahead, Molly.
Oh, I was just wondering, is this like a tunnel or something?
Yeah, it's like a pass through. Yep,
Okay.
yep. So there's several other tunnels and caves, openings that you could see in this whole area. You've just come from one corner down into this space. The Mind Flayer Zalthun, he is got a spot behind a rock here where he is leaning up against right now and expecting you all to find your positions. But essentially, what he's told you before is that when it comes in, most of it's range is about 60 feet. That means that kind of distance before it can.
Oh wow.
So just so you guys have a perspective on.
Side of the
You cut
Dark
out,
corner up here that we could
Curza.
hide in.
You could try. You could absolutely try. If there's somewhere you want to hide in particular. I think also just the idea of somebody purposely going out and making noise or something is like the Illithid would like maybe make a joke about that, but would seriously want someone to just go and attract this thing. And no, and I don't think anyone would want to be beholder bait. So at this point, it's like you're either just going to be waiting for it to show up and hoping that it comes through at some point, and then have it reacting to where it comes in, or drawing it out and forcing it to go somewhere that you want it to go. Right? That's.
Okay.
The
I have a
tactic.
couple ideas. If we could hide and draw it past us, whatever the bait is, brings it past us, then we could, maybe the fighters could rush out and we could take it from behind
So
as a first round.
so
And
hide.
then I was thinking, who's got the that powder? Because that should be like in the middle of the pack, because the frontline fighters might not be able to use it. Whoever secondary or third could be the one to down and heal the group, do the big group heal thing.
I've got the 2d8 plus 1 healing powder. That's the
Yeah.
area. Is that area of effect? Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
I could do
Perfect.
that, or I could just wear the crown.
Yeah. So my next question is,
See what
how,
happens.
how far down is this from the higher ground here?
That is about 40 feet
Oh wow.
of
Okay.
slope from the top of
then
that
is there-
slope to where the crown is.
Is this the way one would walk down? Can one walk down this way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a
Oh,
slope
okay.
that can be walked. But
Okay.
the other parts you'd have to climb or some other
It's
means.
like a foot ledge or something.
Well,
Yeah.
So you can definitely
Either that,
hide
or
out
we
in
just
this
get up to the edge.
as well. But the other thing is that you may
Get up
need
to the
people
edge,
to be
roll
up
a little
high.
tiny rock down.
Because if you're all together and it, like if you all come out of the wooden badger at the same time, like it might not have all the angles that you
Yeah.
need. So I don't know where everyone was thinking of positioning themselves, but you might want to have some people on high ground and maybe some people hiding in these caves and stuff. So
Nod was half thinking we lure its main body into the cave so we can shoot down on it and it would be harder for it to see us from above. Again, we put the crown down here, we're standing above in the more advantageous spot, and even if we can maintain its body in the cave, that's the less we might have to deal with.
Who even has
Yeah,
ranged
but
weapons?
The
How many
crown
of us
down there
have
looks like a
ranged-
trap. It looks like a trap.
this whole thing could be a trap.
Here's a really
If
great
Molly couldn't resist it, can you
theory.
resist it,
We'll
Curza?
take Mithra's body and just slide it down the slope, and it looks like somebody's dead at the bottom.
And I'll just
I'm not gonna slide her, but I'll carry her down there and put it down there.
All right,
I think a slide would
where do you
create
want
the
Iliac?
noise and the
Where-
movement.
where do you want your non-stealthy hireling to be?
in the back staying quiet for what he has, like daggers or anything to throw. Or
So I'm trying to think about where Baden
arrow.
would want to be.
I'm not sure of this plan.
I think Baden is going to probably use his invisibility spell and try to stay at an angle where he could hit this thing potentially from a different angle than the rest of the group. I'll make him have a token here for...
one of those would be cool, Baden.
Well, Griff has to fight in combat, right? Melee.
Nod
Oh.
is going to attempt to backstab. That's his ultimate
Mhm.
goal, is getting behind it and getting a good stab on it, or its eye,
So,
or wherever.
Nod, you and I need to be opposite wherever you're going to be. I'll be on the other side. If I get its attention, you
If this is a pass
So-
through, I'll be
Back
over
and-
here.
So
Range
Nod, when you
weapons.
walk by Griff, you take a look over at Griff and you're like does this guy not know that his leg is sticking out and will definitely be seen? And you like shift him a little bit and help him hide even better because he failed his check. And
Try that again.
but yeah, you can try that again,
A little
and
bit more like this. Yeah.
we'll give you a
You
plus
gotta
on
be
this.
with the shadow.
But
Shadow script. You gotta be one with them.
yes, yeah, embrace the darkness.
The big
This is not like the forest, friend. Look at
I
that.
think actually
Much
this would
better.
be a great time.
Nobody
I
else
was
can
gonna
see
say,
it. I
They
don't
can't
think.
see it.
weapon
No,
block,
they
and,
can't
I
see
could-
it.
Yeah.
He
I
got
do
some
have
here.
a weapon
You up
block,
here?
and we could apply it to people's blades, and it would add bonus to their hide and shadow.
Nation. Unknown.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. So that's the last question we're at. I think we understand now what the bait is. You're putting the crown out and hoping that the magic of the crown is going to lure this thing. You're all going to hide in different places. And then what are you doing then to prepare before it gets here? And it sounds like covering blades in that substance that Nod has would be good for anybody
Have
that's
some
using
weapon block,
blades.
too. Yeah.
And then for anyone else doing
I have
defensive
a-
stuff or what buff stuff.
I'm gonna
I
set
bless.
out my hand axe and my tomahawk, lay him down, then I'll have my short swords ready to go. But I have that magical hand axe that we got from the Umber Hulks, but we never identified. Be throwing that first.
Okay. Why might we ask the priest for a blessing?
I'm ready, but yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna stand back. Next, hopefully this thing doesn't suck my brains out. But I'm just gonna go into quiet contemplation, and when we get into combat, I'm casting prayer.
Can we get a bless before? That way, you're not talking
Oh.
during the sneaky part or when we're trying to make noise. I don't want you to be the
What's
center of attention.
yeah? What's your duration on that?
They're not very long, actually,
Bless
are they?
is higher than you think. I think bless is higher than you think.
I think it has a long duration. Yeah.
Duration
know.
6 rounds.
And
Yeah.
I'm only seeing
it's actually a
six rounds.
solid thing. It's plus saving throws and plus 2 attack.
We're gonna need some saving throws. And I'll also lay out my short bow and my arrows.
Okay. All right. So everything's going in position, and you've done all the
Maybe
preparation.
scooting people's legs and arms.
Yeah,
Needing
just
to
double check.
be moved and helped.
I think it's a good point that those of you who are not stealthy, who are trying to hide, are going to need some help hiding. And you'd have the opportunity with Nod for him to hide you. So Nod, if you'd like to, you could make a roll for trying to hide them, at least kind of to the best of your ability, to see if you can't hide those of you. Because I think, yeah, there we go. There's two of you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, three of you. He's able to get hidden. So let's see. So that we could say Arhu, Nod. If you want to pick who that you're rolling for.
Can you help me hide in this
Well,
cave over here?
Yeah, so we'll just go in order. Maybe I started with Kurza, then moved down here to Bart.
Okay.
So it would have been Bart. Then what do you call it? He's invisible, so it would have been Mithra with the last one, or
Gregor.
All right. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Who puts the crown down? Who kind of kicks this thing off by putting the crown into place before everybody's holding their breath?
one more.
Who
Down
had it?
here.
Did Gregor carry the crown?
Griff had it, I thought.
Griff had it?
right?
Okay.
I did. It's in a bag. So if you want to just take the bag down there and then dump it out, don't look at it. Run back to wherever you're hiding.
All right.
I have a question on bless. Only affects those if you're already not in combat, so careful about that. I start cast this as we draw this thing in, and then after
How
a
long
bless,
does it
it's
last?
6 rounds. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, rounds is like 10 minutes, so that's like an hour.
I think a round is
The
a minute,
radius
right?
won't
Yeah,
go
round
a
is
minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
It's 1 minute.
Yeah. Because
And how long are your combat rounds?
they're 10 6-second increments or whatever.
Turn is 6 seconds, and then I thought a round
Yeah.
was 6 minutes. I could be wrong. It might
A
be
round?
60
I think it's
seconds.
Opposite.
Yeah, I don't know what a.
The round is the shorter and the long, and the turn is the long.
Anyway, we've got who was the one that was putting the crown down?
It would be either Griff. Yeah, probably.
Griff. Okay.
His Griff can actually
He would
hide.
have the crown.
He knows how to hide.
All right. And then so you're putting the crown down and then climbing back up, and you're going to be at the top of that. Is that where you're?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And just so I'm clear on everybody, it looks like Bart, you're hiding down here. Are you doing anything else to prepare?
Nope, he's just frantically trying to mull over what spells might be useful to throw out.
Kurza?
You got any defensive or buffy spells that might help us before we?
And Kurza, you're
Buffy.
hiding up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem,
All right.
problem is knowing how long we need the spells to be active for. A lot of them are shorter duration, or
Well,
Well,
hopefully we make a
yeah,
lot of
that's the
noise, so it
problem.
won't take long. That's the hope. And then actually, Nod would also hand Griff the bag of spores, and I don't think it's magical. I think it's magic or not magic, but mushroom spores. So it should.
Bart has the
shouldn't
spores, doesn't he?
No,
Nod
Bart has the
has,
ones that heal. Nod has the ones from the traps in the
Okay.
tower.
I think it might give us a chance.
We stack bless and prayer, Jamie.
I think so. Yeah,
You can.
yeah.
Normally you can.
Yeah, I don't have a limit on that. But Nod, you hear something. You start as you're helping everybody get in position, you hear this sort of faint, soft, eerie humming. And at first it's just really light, and then you definitely start to notice it a little bit more to where other people don't seem to notice it. But if you stop and everyone's quiet, which I imagine everyone at this point is trying to be somewhat quiet, although Nod, you've not moved too silently across the cavern as you're trying to find your spot. And see, so at that point you just hear that hum getting closer, and it comes from the east and emerges into the chamber. Let's see, I'm just double checking your all's vision here to see what you can see. Okay. And suddenly this horrific looking thing comes levitating into the area. It's over here for anyone that may be a little far away. But they're right on the edge of the map here. This thing enters the chamber and is got the tentacles up. Let me make a quick character sheet for this thing so that I can share it with you guys to see. I think it's a small image on there, but it's a giant looking, decaying looking bulb with eye stalks shooting out in multiple directions. And in fact, when you see it, let's see, for those of you that can see it on your screen, who would have some means of seeing this thing, who would that be? I think that might just be
Nod has infravision.
Seharn,
Yep.
Nod.
Seharn does. Yep.
Okay. And so Seharn and Nod, you would get the first look at this, and if you can make wisdom checks, the two of you.
Oh.
Nod, you that this thing has at least 10 eye stalks on it, which you were warned, and you would know this too, Seharn, that each of the eye stalks has a different power to it. And you see this thing as it's coming, and it's got at least 10 that you're counting just from its silhouette that far away. And it looks as if 80% of it is pointing in the direction of your chamber here. And so it comes wandering out into this space. And I think pretty much...
This thing is ugly.
It is ugly.
It is ugly.
And
if I have a line of sight of Griff, I'd give him a nod and
Just open that image and magnify it by 300. This thing is ugly.
yeah, it unfortunately the small image got put in there, but it is definitely a cool looking piece of art too. And So you see this thing come out and it floats in the air. It's about 15 feet off the level that it's on, but it's below those of you who are on this terrace, like Griff and Seharn. It's actually below you, so it's down from your angle. And for Gregor, it's above you in terms of height right now as it's floating towards this direction. And that's where I need some savings throws.
Why?
You gonna do initiative? Or...
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm gonna start casting prayer or bless, but
This is a fear effect, so if anybody has any like immunities to fear or bonuses against fear, just being in its proximity causes this. And so we'll start with this roll and then we'll do initiative. So just do a save versus spell. Let's see, and that would be pretty much everybody. Everyone's got to have to do
Okay.
everyone except for your hireling who's far away.
Oh, we do have astonishing fortunes.
Do we have?
I got a +3. So
I've made no rolls tonight. Very good.
All right.
Be afraid.
Do we have any bonuses from blessed and everything?
Not that it helps me, but
Bless is +1. I think Chan is +1, but it might just be to armor class and attack. It
if
might not.
we even got the bless off yet, it's just
Okay, so what basically happens is you guys are waiting, right? You're waiting for this thing and you finally see it and know that it's coming, and then it's like your heart stops and you're just like frozen still in absolute terror. Like you don't want to make a sound. You're like holding your breath. You're fearful of this thing right now, and because you're already hiding, basically my thought is that you would just be utterly still and really unable to act, like in so much fear. So those of you
we
who
feel like little.
Hmm?
Sorry, we feel
We
like
do have
little
astonishing
first
fortune,
level
guys.
again.
you do have astonishing fortune, so for anyone who wants to use astonishing fortune, you could re-roll, but looks like
I would like to re-roll.
it's not an easy roll for some of you.
yeah, I'm not gonna.
So yeah, Nod has a actually fairly decent chance of doing it.
Yeah.
He should.
Cursa,
reroll.
you're going to. We need somebody to kick this thing off.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to figure out how I
I
select.
think I would actually
kind
make
of
that.
roll?
If Bless is going off, I made it. If Bless is not going off, I did not make it. I have +3 to fear, so with that I would be
How
at
do-
12. So if Bless is
How
there,
do I make
made
it a public
I-
roll?
I'll give you the bless if Wayne, if you were gonna cast bless at the first sight of this thing, then I'll give you the bless being in place.
That was the fans. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
because
nice.
you
Thank
said that. Yeah. So who re-rolled? I guess anyone re-roll? Just Nod.
Nod re-rolled.
Okay.
Cursa?
Cursa re-rolled too. Okay, so there's
You saying that the bless was in place?
Why
of
is this
initiative
one
roll?
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
the GM?
Okay.
So that'd be
I-
+1 to your save if that matters.
for me that would have made it.
I thought that was okay. Yeah, so you would pass as well.
It's a fear effect. Bless
Or
only
you would
works on
pass.
fear, and it gives you a +1 to attack. From what I'm reading.
Yeah, so so I guess it doesn't really even give you a bonus against savings throw. But anyway, we could go ahead and roll initiative anyway. And for those of you that are failing your throws, you just won't be able to act. When it is your turn, you'll get another chance to try to shake off the fear. So let's go ahead and roll it up. And I will put this guy in.
So if we failed our fear check, do we still roll as if we were going to
Yeah,
act, even
yeah.
though we can't? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops. I should have added.
Yeah, against magical fear effects. So
Yep.
saving throws. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add 6 to that, Jamie. I didn't add casting time. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Yeah, you can edit. I think you can edit your own if
You should be able to.
you can click on it, then you can edit it, hopefully. All right. Yeah, a couple of you are just feeling this overwhelming fear just as this thing is closing in. And in the meantime, it is heading towards the open space where, I guess, Griff, can you describe where you would have propped up this. How does it look where the crown was left?
I guess I would have put it on a high point, cockeyed in the middle of this area right here, where we could see it from the high ground.
Okay.
Maybe on a stalagmite.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like on the
Yeah, that's a good idea.
sideways on one of those.
So this, of course, is drawing full attention of the creature, and it's coming in, and as long as it's gonna go, let me sort this. Gregor, you're first. I know you're frozen, right? I believe.
Just
Okay.
fighting back a scream.
Yeah, it's got to be the most terrifying thing that's happened to Gregor ever. It's like a nightmare it's coming towards Gregor, and so I feel like it's just like survival instinct to just freeze and sit there. And so in that little corner, while you're sitting there, this thing's coming out and it's looking in, you can see it in multiple directions where the tentacles are pointing, and you can see that it's actually got, if you can roll a wisdom check, you're going to get the full count. So it actually has 11 tentacles total, or eye stalks, excuse me. And so you're able to see that and confirm what its extent of its size is. And yeah, and so you can roll a savings throw here now to see if Gregor can act next turn. You can do another save versus spell.
I'm thinking I chose the worst place to hide. So close to it.
You're at least frozen, so you're not giving yourself up, which is good. You're not just panic running yet, but it will escalate to that point with another fail. So anyway,
Gregor is wishing he had stayed back in Dragon's Falls.
He's probably grateful that nod out.
yeah,
Helped hide him right there.
Pro Camper was such a nice city this time of year.
Yeah.
all right, it's turn next.
I think everybody just feels a level of warmth and calm pass through them. I'm going to just cast a prayer spell, which will give us +1 attack, defense, and saving throws for the next 5 rounds.
What is?
At 6th level.
What's the range on it? I think
Let's say,
it's around you.
yep, it's a 50-foot cube, which I way pre-measured a long time ago. But I believe that would about catch everybody.
Yeah, warmth and calm runs through us and right down our legs.
I believe 50 foot
fear.
catches everybody.
Let's see, I'm gonna put.
I measured that out a few minutes ago. Yeah, and so we should now +1, +2 to attack because it stacks with the bless. +1 to savings, +1 to defense roll.
I'm gonna put this crown out here instead.
Attack, damage, and saving throws all get +1.
Damage and
got it.
saving throws.
Yeah, combined with the bless, your attack is at +2. Your damage is +1, and all saving throws are +1 for the next 5 rounds.
All right, I've got it.
+2 to hit.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted.
Is there any way you can post that in chat so we can all read?
This is your crown. I'm gonna put it on here with a little bit of. There we go. Okay, so I think Seharn's got everybody bonused up. Anything else, Seharn?
Nope.
All right, Nod, you're up. Are you frozen as well, Nod, or did you?
No, with the yeah.
That's right, because it was a fear thing, and you also had the bonus.
I think he is going to take this opportunity to kind of work his way around, but not starting it yet. He doesn't want to be the one to start it, per se.
All right, let's do a move silently for. You can roll it.
Hey!
Wow, there you go. Perfect time for that roll. You're able to get yourself over there, and you can see this thing, again, scanning the room and scanning the area. If you could see it, it could possibly see you, so go ahead and roll a hide in shadows as well.
I'd be moving at 3rd speed as well, so I wouldn't be moving quite as fast. Oof.
What do you think?
With the weapon back black, it's 5. I'm not sure if the drow cape is in there either.
Which was what, 5% or something like that, or it was like something.
So with the weapon black is 5%. So if the drow cape is 5%,
Is your
that
base
would be enough.
70?
My base is 60, but my race gives 5, and
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So with that,
Right,
it should
base
be
gets
fine.
5 and the race gets 5.
Yeah. So you're like, yeah, just tucked in and barely getting yourself into a position where you can see it, but it can't see you. So you definitely still have the element of that on your side. Anything else?
No, that's all he's doing is just
Okay.
trying to stealthily.
Yeah. Yeah. Be very careful here. All right, Kurza, you're up. You're in the back, but this thing, it's getting out of your vision a little bit because you're looking down. It's 40 feet down from that ledge up here, and so it's getting, the closer it gets, the more out of your vision it's getting from the fact that you're back a little bit. But you definitely saw it move in the direction of the crown.
That's about 95 feet away, but considering that I'm going to be working with a 45 foot by 45 foot cube, it should be hard. Shouldn't be too hard to. Yeah, let's move the cube a little bit farther away so we don't hit.
Yeah, something like that, where it's
Yeah,
between
don't
them.
want to take nod. And yeah, somewhere around in there's. And the ceiling in that area will, to a 20-foot depth, will just turn to mud and crash down on it.
All right, let's.
2,000. What is it? 2,000 times 20. 400,000 cubic feet of mud come crashing down on it.
All right, so here's
What?
here's what we'll do
in that
is,
area.
as you're doing this, obviously, let me just double check a couple things, but are you trying to stay hidden in the process, or are you okay with the fact that it's going to see you moving around with the wand moving towards it?
I'm gonna try staying hidden just to, because I'm really just aiming above it. Whether I can see it or not is irrelevant. I have an average idea where it is. It's down there somewhere, and
Yeah,
I can cover
yeah,
the entire
no,
area,
that's
so
true.
it really doesn't matter if it sees me,
Okay, so
or if
it does
like,
matter if it sees you.
I'm trying
It
not to be seen because I
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
want to
what
be
matters.
seen, but
Put some mud in its eye.
that's right. A whole lot of weight and a bunch of mud, and maybe it'll do some damage, and or not, or at least it'll keep it busy.
Let's
It
see.
sounds like you could have just squished it, man, like a bug.
So what I'll have you do
That's when
is
I turn all the mud to rock.
I'll have you roll a, let's see, let's do 2d6, and 2d6 will determine how many chunks of the earth could possibly strike it. So if you roll 2d6 first,
That's cool.
what we'll do is I'll even have you roll this. You can roll 4d20. And these will each basically have an attack roll where they could possibly hit this thing from above as they're falling down towards him. There you go. There's a couple hits. The first one and the last one hit this thing. And the damage that this will
natural
cause...
20. Yeah, there we go.
Let's have each of them be... I don't know what else to use. I think we'll just use 2d8 for each one. It's falling from...
That's pretty hefty.
So
yeah, I figured
how
they're
many
pretty
2d8s
large.
you want?
Does the nat 20 count?
Two of them. The nat 20 will be doubled.
Two
2d8.
instances of 2d8.
Yeah. Yep. And the first one, this one is doubled.
Ooh, 28. That's significant. Hopefully.
Hopefully you just hurt this thing. Then I got lucky in the first round. Hopefully.
I think it was definitely a good way to attack this thing because it's not.
So-
Alright, so.
It's non-magical that we're attacking him, so I don't have to worry about his magical protections.
Exactly.
He's being hit
exactly.
with
So 28 and 12.
natural objects.
Right. Okay. Perfect. So the wand once again comes in handy in a big moment, and in this moment causes a bunch of big chunks to fall, and a couple of them smack this thing as now it's definitely taken a hit. Nicely done. All right, so Curza, you're still hidden back there though for now. Bart, you're up next.
Yeah, I think Bart's going to look up from his vantage point only as much as he needs to direct a spiritual hammer back at this guy. Is this small, medium, or large?
Large.
Let me hit it.
Ooh, it's large.
And we're getting +2 to hit right now yet?
Yeah.
Bless?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the prayer also gives it -1 AC. Trying to find it to post it, but it wouldn't pop up.
Not that I'm reading, sir. When a
AC
spell is
of
completed,
5.
all attack, damage, and saving throws made by those
AC 5.
+1. The enemy suffers a -1 to all attack, damage, and saving throws.
That unfortunately will miss this thing.
So now there's a sparkly hammer whizzing through the air.
Yeah, it's still another good move though. It's a way of engaging with it without casting something directly at it, which again, it's really limited some of the things that you can do here. So I think that was a good attempt, and you still can engage with it again. Anything else for Bart? You staying put where you're at, or?
I'm assuming Bart's like this from the ledge here. If Bart is invisible at all, it's maybe just his head peeking up or whatever he's using to look over.
Yeah.
He might sink back down a little bit just to try and make sure he's not. I think he has to. I don't know if he has to really keep visible contact on it.
Yeah, I don't know that's the case either, but I'll put your hammer on here so that we can track what it's up to, and I'll make it orange like your token is a little bit.
How deep is the mud?
So the mud that fell on the ground now that fills this area would have also covered the crown. So this whole area actually is now covered in mud, and I would say it's like at least like 1.5 to 2 feet deep in certain parts, just the amount that came down. So where is
Yeah,
the...
because it was 20 feet deep into the ceiling, and then I'm
Right.
assuming it'll hit the ground and
It'll spread.
move organically.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I'm just putting this square kind of to represent where I think we established. So something like that. I think that's what we established. So that's where it's all covered in
No, it
mud.
was a little bit farther northeast there.
Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Like that?
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that? Okay, cool. All right, next up is our friend here. Our new friend from the deep. And what is it that he is going to do? Actually, let me double check. Did my Mind Flayer get in here? Oh, he goes next. Okay. He's just not in order. And then Baden. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. Baden was invisible. Let's add him as well. I think we got it. Baden's in there now. Okay. Beholder is now, again, the ceiling has just started dripping and then falling and then smashing it and causing quite a bit of damage. So I think its initial reaction to the sky falling on it was probably to try to move past it, and is going to move all the way up to where it saw the crown initially, but also outside of the duration or the area of effect of this, so it's not having more stuff fall on it. It's also, the spiritual hammer definitely is like thrown it now, and so it's going to be scanning and looking for you again. So let's see, I think Gregor, your chance of hiding, I don't think you actually have.
Yeah.
Let's see, just wondering what the percentage would be, because I'll have you roll a percentile. How about you just go ahead and roll a percentile, and then I'll see if there's... Okay. So it definitely sees you. And however, the thing that's going on here is that you're still frozen, and so you're not moving. And I'm gonna assume you're not staring back at it. You're like
No,
just
I was gonna say that I'm trying not even to look at it.
yeah. I would imagine you would be so still and so terrified that you wouldn't follow it with your eyes. You would obviously track where it's at in your mind, but you wouldn't be like watching it because it would give you away, moving your head or moving your eyes or whatever. It sees you, but you don't know that it sees you is basically what happens here. And so it's curious and it's going to investigate this. But also at the same time, I need Griff to roll a hide in shadows as well, because this thing has come up close to where Griff was set up. All right, and in this case, Griff, you were not frozen in fear, or were you?
Yeah, I was.
You were, okay. So you're in the same boat so it's now detected both of you, and however, you don't know that it's detected you, and so its choices of what it can do here change dramatically for the better for you, since you're not making eye contact with it. And let's see, let's see. Sorry, I've lost his. So go ahead and roll a save versus spell, both of you, please.
Gregor and Griff.
Gregor and Griff, yes, please.
What's our bonus? +2?
Saving throws
Oh.
+1.
+1.
+1.
Okay.
First save of the night.
3-time failure here.
We do have fortunes.
Yeah, we have 4 left.
I'd like to save that for actually hurting it.
I think somebody just needs to run up and start attacking it.
So for the first one, Gregor, you're feeling weakened, suddenly weakened by something that's just feels like it's draining your energy. And for Griff, you don't feel any effect. You don't notice any effect.
I didn't disintegrate. That's good.
No, you didn't disintegrate. But let's see, anyone else in range of this thing? I would say not. Now that it's this close, it's below the ledge and it doesn't have direct line to anybody. That it is basically going to stay floating in this area, and it's going to circle around and investigate Gregor. It's going to move right over here, floats right over Gregor, and then looks down like, are you playing dead or what kind of thing, just getting close. And so it's actually now the turn of the Mind Flayer. And the Mind Flayer steps out and appears. He was hiding over by Seharn, and he comes over towards the ledge where he can get view of this, and he begins to, let's see if he gets detected.
Honestly, relieved he didn't betray us and just stuck my brains out there.
And he attacks the
I'll
heart.
give him time.
There's always time.
Ah, come on.
Oh man. Okay. So he rolled terribly here, and he is basically going to have lost his
Fall
footing.
off the cliff.
And I'm gonna see. I think he might fall here because this.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see.
Flipping into the mud. Nice.
Oh no, there's no adjacent ally. Character instead suffers a penalty to AC and attack rolls. Okay, what has happened though is that now, for the first time, there's a creature that dares to show itself in front of this beholder, and the others who were detected were doing so in a hidden way, but now someone is so bold to have walked towards it, and he's made a bunch of noise, lost his footing or kicked something, not moving, not aware of where his feet were, and dragging something along and kicking sort of a rock falling off of the edge and landing not too far away from you, Gregor. You notice that there was movement up there, and the Beholder is definitely noticing that as well. So their eye stalks are facing in the direction of the Mind Flayer who fumbled and made a mistake. It's to Griff after that. So all the
So
eye
Mind
stalks
Flayer
aren't
doesn't
on you
attack or
anymore.
anything?
We've got the Mind Flayer's attack failed when he fell. So he is, let's see. Yeah, he's the only one that's like moving right now, but go ahead, Griff.
So is he at the same level as me?
He's floating up. He's about 15, 20 feet below you.
Below me.
Jump on him. I'll follow
Just
you.
do
along
do a
the-
flying leap off the
Short-
top,
sword,
leading
sword,
with your
sword.
sword to impale it.
Yep,
I'm gonna
I'll
try to
follow you
jump
with
on him.
my spear.
What do you want me to roll?
You're gonna do it? You're gonna jump on it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh man, I love this idea. This is a great
swear.
idea.
It gets to my do it.
Got some
I'll follow
acrobatics,
you,
maybe?
man. I'll follow you.
Let's see. Give me a
Athletics?
second.
This causes for desperate measures.
Big enough target, right? Jump right on top of it.
That's far.
It is a big
Is
target.
it?
There's just some risks.
Or-
I want to figure out real quick what exactly we want to do.
I think there'd be somewhat falling damage for 15 feet. Maybe on the cushion of the. Depends on how hard it is.
Yeah. It's probably
soft,
big.
fleshy.
Yeah. It looked warty and fleshy.
All right.
Ugly.
All right. So go ahead and make your. You can make your dexterity check here, and it'll
Do you
be
have bonuses for bless or anything?
No, this isn't really an attack. This is just a. You're trying to fall on it, I assume.
Short
It's
sword.
an attack. Come on. Yeah.
So you fall and land, or try to land on this thing, and we're gonna see if you can
Find it.
stick the landing.
I'm trying to stick it. Yeah, with short swords.
So do a strength check to see if you're able to stick this landing.
Oh, come on.
So basically, what that would
You guys cool with me?
Astonishing fortune.
Reroll?
Astonishing
Yeah.
fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do it.
astonishing
Do it. Do it.
fortune that.
no way.
Oh,
No,
Jeez.
Okay, so what I'm gonna roll on that is that you're trying to land on it and continue to attack it over and over, but instead you miss the landing and you're able to still swing at it, but you're gonna fall after your swing. Even if you hit it, you won't be able to hit it in a way where it would be able to hold you up. So you're able to slash it while you're falling by. But because you're falling and you've got all this going on, you'll have a -2 to your roll.
So we got the +2 from the bless.
Yeah, sounds right.
Seharn's bonus, okay.
Aim
Yeah.
for the big eye.
Oh, and do you have any other pluses? Do you have the... Oh, you have the bless in there? Because he's AC 0.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you just miss him with
close.
that. Almost bring a stock off. But the other one, there you go, does go ahead and chop at it. Go ahead and roll damage.
large, right?
Maybe he gets a +1 for being high ground.
I kind of factored in
Pretty
a couple
awkward.
things with him falling
Yeah.
on it.
Good
I'm just
try.
wailing at it as I go by. Yeah,
But you did hit with one
That's
of
gonna be-
them.
yeah, +2 on
All right.
damn 11.
Okay, so roll a... I'm gonna say roll a d4. Alright, and I'm just gonna say then that you've damaged that eye stalk. Okay. Alright, so yeah, you were definitely able to chop and damage one of his eye stalks on the fall, but because you've fallen, you do land and take some damage from that fall. To the tune of 12 points of damage. I think the Beholder may have slowed your fall. But yeah, Griff is now down, and I would say also I knocked a little off because it's muddy down there and not just hard ground. but
Good
you
job.
land down
Go on,
there,
Gregor.
and we'll say you didn't land on Gregor, but once again, Gregor, just things are falling from the sky and things are floating around you, so it's a long way from home. But good turn for Griff.
I was in the cave a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. You weren't just like sitting on the edge. All right, Baden has now decided to appear, and he is moving up. He's no longer. And he is going to let a lightning bolt rip.
Oh, I was thinking that exact same thing.
It's a good spot for it because it's floating in the air. The only problem is it does have magic resistance. So, let's do...
Dice can get lucky.
That may be high enough.
71.
Okay, actually, yeah, that's going to get through. I thought he
Whoa.
does have a high resistance, but not that high. Alright, so this is going to rip through and do... Is it?
66.
Yeah, I think it's 66. Yeah, there we go. All right, so yeah, he definitely connects on a lightning bolt that rips and lights up this whole place. Like everyone's eyes would just be suddenly flashed from this bolt that would have come down from the ledge and lit up this whole area for the first time that you've seen it. But that's where Baden's at now, and I think that's
How did
it.
it land on him?
So if anybody's changing their actions or anything like that, you can adjust, but otherwise it's Gregor first. And
I believe I have to make a save.
yes, yes.
Roll my initiative.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, you're
He's truly proving to be
terrified.
the courage of a hireling.
Yeah, that's true. It's got to learn
I had
his
to reroll,
bravery.
Jimmy, because I have a different weapon now, so I rerolled my initiative.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Gregor is still stunned and paralyzed with fear right now. Seharn, you get to.
Yeah, my initiative doesn't change because my speed and casting time are the same as my last spell. And I'm going to follow my Griff, my friend. I'm going to follow him, man. I'm taking my spear and I'm going to run to the end. And I am being a
Oh, I love
three-dimensional
it.
creature.
I love it.
being
You guys
able-
are throwing your. If your friend
I-
jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a? Yeah, I would.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
So,
used
so
to
you may want to resort too, Jamie, because I'll move up and.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
being used to fighting in a three-dimensional environment because I'm an aquatic creature. I'm just going to jump straight down, spear, feet and spear, just sunk right into this thing.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, pierce the hell out of it. Maybe we'll kill it.
I love it. It's
I got you, man. I got you. If you miss, I got you.
Am I just rolling to hit?
you're gonna learn. Are you trying? So are you trying to land on it basically? Or,
Yep.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you're gonna also roll a Dex check to try to aim your jump and to where you'll land on it.
We're going to do that first. I got a good dex. So,
There you go.
all right.
All right, so you're able to get your jump leading you towards it, but now you got to stick the landing, so you got to roll a strength check. Otherwise, you're going to slide off of it. You can still attack it no matter what happens with your roll, fail or whatever. It's just a matter of whether or not you'll stay on its
I'm going to
body or not. This is
my
probably
nine.
this is
Man,
your
you
dump
got
stat.
this.
I have a
You
9.
got this.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
you
don't know if that's worth an astonishing fortune. I don't know.
No,
It's-
I'll just roll off.
It's certainly heroic.
Take it,
It's
yeah.
certainly heroic, but yeah, so you just won't be able to stick the landing, but you can still swing at it. So you could go ahead and roll a regular attack -2 to try to hit it on your way.
-2?
Yeah,
Yes, I got you, man. You're fair.
But you got your +2 because of your
yeah.
spells, right?
That's a
Oh, that's
wash.
right. It's a wash. Okay,
Wash.
right. It was nothing.
Oh my goodness, what was that? A 2?
Good lord.
What did you roll?
I was going to say that's got to be close to a 1, right?
That is a 1.
Oh my gosh.
How would that? Isn't it?
Yeah, why isn't it red? It does look like
I
a
don't
1.
know. I didn't even see a die come out or anything.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it looks like it. For some reason, it rolled a 1. So I guess go ahead and roll a weapon on the fumble table, and let's see what happens. If anything fun happens.
Where do I get to there?
On the collection tab up in the upper right by the settings, and then there's a rollable tables, and you click roll on that, and it should pop out where we can see
Still
Yep.
have 3 astonishing fortune.
There's that.
It's great.
There's a flying. Oh, okay. So your weapon
no.
could break on that attack. You can roll a d20.
This is just my whale spear. Worst comes to worst. Oh,
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's a
that's
fail.
good.
No, that's a fail. So you want to save?
a
Oh, I'm
crit
sorry. Yeah, that's a
fail.
crit. That's a crit save. I'm sorry. Isn't it?
Okay.
Let me see. Weapon savings throw. No, I'm thinking of it wrong. That would be a crit fail. I think unfortunately with a savings throw you want it to be below target. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Is that
it
right?
looks
Let's
to
see.
me like I
No, it's
miserably.
opposite. Save is real high.
Let's
Oh, yeah.
see. Yeah, I'm sorry. So
Okay.
this
Yeah.
should be a crit save. Yeah, crit save.
Didn't break my
You
weapon.
did not break your weapon. Your weapon is solid.
Very good.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm just going to fall off this thing then, right?
All right, so you're gonna take some fall damage as well. Hopefully not as much, but 17.
Oh. Ow. That's not mild, Jamie.
No, it's a long way down there. It's a long way off that ledge. But I love the heroics, guys. I love the fact that you both immediately wanted to jump off with your weapon up. That's a great instinct.
That's about half killed me there, man.
Yeah.
You also
Die with
left
your
it.
boots
Neither
on.
one of us
Unfortunately,
executed it.
you needed to execute. You needed to land that,
Yeah.
stick that landing. All right, Griff
It's
is
7th
up.
place in the Olympics. All right.
I am the Australian breakdancer of
How far up is this thing now that people have landed on
It's-
it and bounced off?
It's 10 feet, 10 to 15 feet off
I
the
reach
ground.
it?
I think you could with a weapon. Griff's tall. And with a weapon, you could probably jump and slash the bottom of it, sure. There's
All right, I'm
definitely
gonna-
debris and things that you could do to close the gap a little bit to where you could hit it.
Is there a way that I could leverage and jump up onto the side of this cave and jump up, try to stick to it, stick into it and stay on it?
Like to where you're hanging off of it or something, or is that what you
Yeah.
mean? Sure, you could try. Basically, it would be like a piercing attack where you'd have to stick it in to where you could hold on to it. So yeah, if you want to do that's basically like a called shot attack, which I think is
Okay.
a -2. So if you hit it, you can at least stick it and then try to hold it.
Isn't a cold shot at -4? Am I wrong,
Is
guys?
it -4?
I think it
I
is.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is.
it's a
The hard-
minus
So it'd be
four.
-2.
I don't know. I mean, you could take a called shot against the big eye or a stalks.
Yeah, I was trying to see what it is. It says that it can be modified. Let's see, called shots typically. Yeah, it says you can basically be
You want it
anywhere
to be
from.
-2, it can be
Okay.
-2.
I'm gonna be -2 is where I'm gonna put it, and it says it can be between 2 to 6. Yeah.
All right, so we're still even then. We got two shots at the.
1 miss. 2 miss.
Alright.
All right.
Alright.
You do have
Unless you
fortune.
guys want me to try again, we got 3 astonishing fortunes in
Use the
10
fortune.
minutes.
Oh, you gotta
Uh,
use the fortune on the +2 probably.
Well, you only
Good.
get one of the attack rolls, but
Yeah. I'll try the first one then.
That's no that. Oh, it's 0.
Huh, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think then basically you're still on the ground level, just being unable to hit it with the stabbing motion. It's probably moving around quite a bit now. So that should bring up Nod, who's
How high in the air is it?
it's 10, 15 feet
See,
off the ground where it's floating. Looks like Nod's charging in.
I'm knock this thing out, man.
Yeah, I think I have enough.
Remember that's mud there.
Yeah, you're gonna be hampered by the mud. You could stay on the high ground here. Yeah, if you
Come on,
want to
jump
do
off
that.
the cliff. Everybody else. is.
Everyone's doing it.
Yep. Come on.
Come on.
We're gonna have to melee it anyway at some point. So yeah, join us. Come on.
You've had some success so far. No one's stuck the landing though. Nod, I think you can do it. It's a strength check.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you've hyped me up. All right. Yeah, now it's going to at this point
Make
charging
it.
out of the shadows.
Yeah.
Nod's
That is
heavy.
the question.
He's
He's
heavy
going
too.
to aim.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess Molly's right. That make a little buff to damage or something, because Nods is
He's a
heavy
big
dude.
guy. He's carrying
Big.
like 500 pounds of gear. He's a half a ton falling from the
Got half
sky.
of
I feel like
forge
Mario
in
at
his
this point.
backpack.
I would advocate for that. You should get an extra D6 just for impact.
Oh, come on.
You didn't.
Is there any
Aw.
bonuses I have right
Astonishing
now?
fortune. Do it.
You
Do
made.
it.
Maybe you
Do
were
it.
running with too much speed. You overshot. I think you overshot him. You got too much of a head start.
Use it. I don't know.
Will I still get a chance to attack him? Maybe hit him with the sword and cling on, overshot him, and maybe still use the sword to actually.
You can't use your sword to cling on, but you'll get a chance to cling on only if you re-roll your dex, because right now you're nowhere near him, so you can't stick it.
All right, I'll do it. I have a alright chance, not terrible. Don't fail me now, Dex.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Look at that.
Whoa. Is that a reroll?
yeah.
That was a fortune, yeah.
What is with roll 20 and us
Oof.
tonight?
Yikes.
Nod, you just overshot it here, so you just go flying past it. Maybe you didn't realize how far down it was, because they've knocked it a couple times from the
Too much.
top. And so
Which,
there's just people raining down from the cliffside here. And let's see, so Nod, you're gonna take some fall damage here from.
At least I'm in the soft earth.
It's true.
yeah, you're in the mud.
But you still took 14 damage when you landed, and this thing is now, definitely got a lot going on. All right, Bart, you're next, sir.
Are you way over there, Nog? You ended up that far away?
I went with it. I liked it. I thought it was a good overshoot.
Bree. Yeah.
With
Alright.
a 20.
That's a critical fail, yeah.
Do I need to move out a little bit to see him now that he's closer up by the ledge?
Yeah, when right there you could get
Yeah,
line
okay.
of sight.
Right there. Yeah, because then I'll.
Aren't you gonna jump on
forgot
it?
to add.
That would be.
One of us.
I know. So you're using their spiritual hammer.
No,
I know.
So
All right, so the
Yeah.
Just
spiritual
push the
hammer.
mind flare at it.
that misses again though.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
There you go.
you've got another object in here, which is good for targeting. But all right, nice. Curses next.
Oh my.
If we all,
More mud?
right, I was thinking, Chris, if we all ran into the cave, and you could obviously do it right this round, bury us, but if we ran off, next time it came around, you could do the ceiling collapse again.
Or even just as a way to get away from it.
If we all just backed off tactically, ran away. That's
It's
not going to work
really-
this round.
It's
It's not going to
no,
work
it's
right
just
barely
now.
within
No.
my vision.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if Cursa would want to send the mud down with all of your allies in that range.
No, it'd probably kill them all.
That's why I said we couldn't do it this round. It's just something to think about.
I could try and web it, but that's going to be.
You're also in a
That'll get all of us too. But
yeah.
No,
you're,
I could.
you currently don't see
Yeah.
it because you're far back as well, so you'll have to come closer to try to get into vision if you're casting something towards it. But you could move and cast. It's just a matter of what you're thinking.
See, I could do that as far as a web. But yeah, I'd have to move forward for that. The web's going to have a magic resistance against it, though. Let's see.
Yeah, any spell that's
Fireball's going to be way too big.
How many hit points you figure this thing's got, folks? It took a chunk at the beginning.
it's definitely taken a fair amount of damage. Yeah, it's not something you've seen
Yeah.
before to know how to gauge its overall health, but it's definitely bloodied, and it's got some eye stalks that have damage, and
Yep.
yeah.
That I get. I'm just wondering if direct damage might be a better option.
What do you got, Curza?
taking any damage at this point.
Oh, I think it got muted. I don't hear him for some reason.
I'll just cast mirror image on myself.
Oh, okay. There we go. I hear you. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. That's so. What? How many is it do? I think it's
1 second.
1d8 or something like that.
I think it's at
4?
3.
1d4 plus 1 at my level.
It's 4.
One
So
for every 3 levels. So D. Okay, so roll a d4. I love this
Well,
spell, by the
I
way.
think
This
it
is.
rolled it when it rolled it
Oh, it's
when he
4
did the
images.
spell.
So you rolled a 4.
Yeah. Rolling 4. 1 plus, yeah.
I don't know why it says 4 plus 8.
I don't know.
That's weird.
I'm assuming due to levels, but it can only add 1 per every 3 level.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got
I
the
got 4 images plus myself.
4. Okay, so 5. There's total then. 5 of you. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Kersey, you've now replicated and created a lot of diversion. Anything else?
Gonna be good.
Are you moving or staying put then?
Garrett.
I guess he's staying put. Okay. All right.
You know you want to jump Curza.
All right.
Come on, man.
Oops.
Everybody's doing it. It's the jump on the beholder challenge.
Let me get rid
TikTok.
of this thing. All right. Okay. Let's. What happened to my? I was trying to delete that area of effect thing. Okay. All right. Let's have. Let's see who is not incapacitated. Gregor, you're still in fear, correct? I believe.
Until the next round. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to roll a save, I guess.
All right. Nod, Griff, and Seharn, go ahead and roll savings throws versus spell, please.
Are we in the 3rd round of combat right now?
I think this is the either the end of the 2nd. This might be this might be the 3rd. Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 3rd.
Holy cow.
There you go. Now you're rolling good.
Sorry. What did you
Who
ask for?
saved?
Save versus spell, Seharn.
Why am I not coming?
That's huge. Those are huge rolls. All right, Seharn. I'll leave it to you to decide if you want to use the last astonishing fortune or not.
Tricky because if something bad happens, then we're about to lose 3 healing spells. So what do you guys think? You?
Battle. This could be the end of Seharn, so
Maybe. It could be.
I'm for it. I'm okay with it. Anybody else?
All right,
The dice fall where they may.
let it go. Here we
Do
go. Oh, no.
It was the same. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we failed. We failed twice. All right, what happened?
All right, let me just read this effect real quick.
Could have used the astonishing fortune if it would have killed you.
Could have. A little bit of misuse there, is that what you're saying? Probably a good point.
I mean, so yeah.
I'm not seeing a lot of rolls either, Chris.
So.
Oh, so he got hit with a ray of some kind?
Yeah, he got hit. Sorry, I'm just double checking because I want to make sure this is right.
You gotta kill this thing, man.
Yep.
All right, Seharn.
Some big hits on it, guys.
Seharn, you fall over dead.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Just fire. Do I go to 0 hit points or?
You basically, you've been hit with a death ray.
Oh.
Man,
Yeah, that's it.
if we could have
Failed
used the
saving.
astonishing fortune to just say you don't die. Maybe not, I guess, in this case.
No, I mean if you.
Yeah, I was thinking, I would have had to make the saving throw. It's save or die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This spell would have still did 5d6 damage even if you saved. So I don't know if that would have killed you or not, but the death.
I had 16 hit points.
Yeah, 5d6 would have probably killed you. But the death ray is basically like a disintegrate spell, except that it minus the fact that you're disintegrated and turned into a pile of dust. In the death ray, instead, you're basically like you're starting to rot already. Like you're already like necrotic and stiff in like just a matter of moments, and it won't take long before you're like full on decay.
This seems like a heck of a stacker thing to go through in a quest to save one of our already dead comrades. Now look what happened.
Unfortunately, unfortunately. So Seharn has landed. Let's see, where is Seharn? You're already landed on the ground, so you're now down by Gregor, who's still struggling with things. That is, let's see. That is it
So
for.
basically, I have 0 hit points right now, right?
Yeah, you have 0 hit points.
Should we? That way we don't get the lich back.
And I'm rotting and necroting. Oh,
The one,
the good thing is I have an interesting idea for my backup PCM.
the one who
So,
needs
yeah.
preserving now is the one who's done all the preserving up to
Oh.
this point. But
So Bart can still cast it if we need to.
I will say this thing has got, it's definitely like down to like a third of its hit points, so it's not out of reach by any means, but unfortunately
It's not too late. It's not too late to jump off the cliff with the rest of us. And Bart.
So the Illithid is gonna attack next. I know it's probably the last thing on anyone's mind is to continue fighting after one of their allies falls instantly in combat, but the Illithid is going to step forward, and that he casts a what looks like a cone that appears, and I'll draw this on the map if I can. I don't know why it did it like that, but it's a cone like that. And you just kind of see this emanation come from him. It's sort of glowing in this whole area, and I don't think any of you would notice what its effect is, but it's done something here that it seems to think is a good idea. And Baden is going to now, he sees this as well, and he recognizes this, and maybe you would even hear him say that it's an anti-magic cone. And so anything in this cone right now is unable to cast magic. So any magic effects or whatever that take place in there are negated temporarily. And so Baden is going to move to try to get himself into a different position. And then he's going to get ready to cast something different. But we'll go back to the turn order. We'll go back through one more time and see what everyone else wants to do with their last turn, and we'll pause it wherever we end up. Hopefully it's with a dead beholder. But Gregor, you're first to try to shake it off.
Okay.
At last, he gets some.
There you go. So now you can attack.
Do it.
All right.
Fortunately, anti-magic doesn't affect Gregor. Oh, you need one more
I
point.
didn't add the +2.
Oh, okay,
That-
okay.
Do we still get it?
With Seharn gone, you know what? I think we got to leave it go for this round. I'm gonna let it go for this round. I think I got.
Yeah, because isn't
Okay.
officially dead yet.
Yeah, he's not really.
Not
yeah.
quite dead.
Yeah, and actually, I think second edition AD&D, the spells aren't independent of the caster, like the energy
Yeah.
persists.
It's not concentration.
Right.
So-
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
So
damage. It's large, you said.
it is. It is large, and
Yes.
yeah.
Looking for the melee damage. Reason I don't see it.
Short sword, I think,
Weapons.
D8. I want to say versus large.
Make something up. Just make it
I
large.
think so.
Yeah, I want to say it's D8.
No,
is
it's
it?
it's D8.
All right, you get a good chop in on the side of this beholder who has been literally onslaughted by you guys, and you notice it does actually. It seems like it actually does a little bit more damage than you expected. So you cut this thing open a little bit, and
It's a good sign.
I think it's Saharn's turn next.
I'm going to lay here and rot.
Oh man, that is just not.
Railroaded, Jamie. I only
Mm.
got. He has only
Haunting
given me one choice. I have no agency here whatsoever.
Oh man, yeah. All right, so
The choice you have is to watch us all die.
Well,
Oh,
I
that was the
think
choice.
you might make it.
All right, Griff, you're up.
Can I still reach it?
Yeah, you can reach it.
Let's do this. Come on.
Griff.
Just step
Griff.
forward.
Oh,
There's a hit. There's a hit.
nice.
Large.
11. All right. It looks like it's hurting pretty bad now. It's definitely more noticeable now that you've taken one of its stalks clean off of it as well with that last hit, and you hit it again.
-5. I roll on that. 18. Okay.
Oh man.
+2 on both of those, so +4 total.
Okay. It's still up. It's still up, but not looking good. All right. Think it's to nod now.
Is there a position I can be to be
Oh, the
behind it
existing
to
bless
flank
gives
it?
them each +2.
If it was facing Seharn with its eyes, or is it just one of the stocks look
Like I
that
said,
way?
+4.
Yeah, it definitely still has enough stalks to observe around it, and the fact that you came flying off the top, I think
Yeah.
it still had
That's-
tabs
that's
on you.
cool. Yeah. I
Unfortunately.
would be
Alright.
fair.
Just
Fortunately, fair.
Is the prayer and bless still active?
Yes. Did say it.
Yeah,
They were.
we're letting those go
Oh,
for
well,
sure.
it does
Yeah.
not matter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, not turn.
Bart,
I'm Bart.
you could be the real hero
Is
here,
the,
Bart.
is the,
Bart Kurza, you're it, man.
the-
Come on. Jump off the cliff. You can do
the
this.
hammer's still. Yeah, I was gonna say the hammer's still active inside the.
Yeah, it's still just floating around down there. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Cliff divers. Cliff divers is our adventuring
if-
group. Cliff divers.
All right.
Oh, no way.
Ah,
No way.
yes.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Crit, roll on the crit.
Yeah, you can roll on that crit
Awesome.
table because it's
So-
just so beautiful to see. Good timing.
The blunt weapon too.
Save.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big, soft, pulpy object. So perfect weapon.
Yeah.
It's gonna smash its eye here and finish
Yeah.
it. Oh yeah, it is
Ah.
dead.
Heck
Read
yeah.
his- oh, there we
It
go.
is dead. It
Yes.
falls to the ground in a big pile of flesh and just blood and mud.
Triple damage. Triple damage.
So
Look, grievous.
Oh,
you've
Love it.
you've dropped it.
this,
And wow, so I think with it falling
he's done a
now,
lot of damage.
yeah, you've done a lot more damage. So you did way more than what was needed. But it was just like a perfect shot with this final shot. Although you've been using that hammer for a little bit, that's probably the very first time you've done anything like that, and it was the final blow. So everybody was exhausted
Yeah.
and getting paralyzed and everything else, and then you're able to kill it with the
Covered
spiritual
in
hammer.
mud.
And so it's dead.
Nice.
It dies, and you all are left here. I'll take the turns off. The mind flayer is, for the first time, almost shows some emotion, and in the sense that they're like almost taken back by you all that you were actually able to do it. Maybe they had their doubts that you were able to do such a thing, but the fact that you pulled it off surprised it, and it looks around and it says to you, "I'm sorry for your friend, but I knew there would be some costs to pay." And with that, he goes down to take a peek at the corpse, and you see he immediately attaches his tentacles to the top of the head
Oh,
of
man, I'm going out this way?
the beholder and starts taking in
Oh.
no, yeah, this is the beholder's body, and
Yeah.
he's like sucking the brain of the beholder out and getting bits of information from its dead body, and of course it finishes up its meal. I assume the rest of you, what are you doing in those moments, those awkward moments when the beholder is having his brain sucked out by the Illithid? Anyone else moving towards?
I'm going to Seharn just to check on him to see if there's anything that I know to do.
So we don't know what the crown does.
Waving to Bart.
Put the crown on him.
So yeah, Nod
Yeah,
was
we're
not
over.
contemplating on stabbing him in
grabbed
the
the
back
crown.
now that he's busy and eating something.
I think the number one thing would be that Bart, you would want to stop the decay by doing
Yeah.
some type of either preservation, or you may have another spell that would help, but again, that's probably the first and foremost action you would be thinking.
We both had, was it gentle repose? Or
Yes. If there's
so yeah,
even a-
Bard probably.
You could cast Gentle Repose on Seharn and give him 5 days of preservation and stop the decay acceleration that so yeah, you're able to do that. And
that's another spell too. Yeah.
I think you did. I think you had another spell too that applies potentially to preserving, but the Gentle Repose will work, and so you guys can take some time to preserve Seharn's body and unfortunately take his things and carry him. Now, he's probably a lot smaller than a Mithra, but still someone will have to make the sacrifice to carry him if that's your intent. And the Illithid looks very pleased and licking his chops after feeding on this beholder. And
I've got a question for him.
Sure.
What did it find out about the mouth and the hand people?
They are
Who
here.
are its contacts?
They are here, and there are many of them. And now that I know more about their numbers, my move to take over this part of the grotto will be complete. I never really expected you to be capable of this. I expected more of you to be laying in burlap like your friend. But I must give you some credit, and of course, we had a deal.
Indeed.
Then in that case, I give you this. And he hands you this bottle. It's like a small glass bottle. And he says that this will do it. But remember what I told you. And good luck finding your way out. And he starts walking off.
I had one last question for him before he walks off.
Sure.
Have the same information on the hand as you have?
You were cutting out when you were asking, but I think the question was something about does he have more information on the hand?
That he can provide to me.
That he could provide to you?
Yes.
They don't know you're here yet. Consider yourselves very lucky. He knew not of your entry into the Underdark. We came swiftly, too swiftly for his minions to report it. But I know
Who does he report to?
The name?
Who does he report to?
I know not the name, but I know that the creature resembles this one.
What he just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was the item that he gave us, the potion?
Yeah, he's actually given you it's a wish in a bottle basically. So this is gonna be a wish spell situation where you'll have to make a decision on how you want to use that, and we'll have to discuss the way in which who asks for it and what you ask for. And I won't be too much of a stickler, but I do want to make sure that whatever you end up doing is the will of the party. So I'll let you guys think of that through.
We gotta be really careful how we word this.
If it involves any kind of a save or pick the most intelligent or wisest person to roll that, whatever. And
We have two down party members now.
This could be tricky.
Yeah, we have a new fallen party member to think about that, and so I think it's probably a good spot
Can we raise
to
both
stop.
of them with the same wish is the real question.
The wishes are all
We need to get
like
Nod
magic.
Yeah, we need to get Nod a papoose so we can carry Kurza or carry Seharn around.
That's what we spend the wish on.
I think it'll be great. I think it'll be great to give you guys 2 weeks to think about the wording of what you're going to ask for, so that you could discuss that, how you want to use your wish, because there's a lot of different things you could think of. You could get rid of your curses, that those of you who are marked, the bonds, and Bart could get rid of the curse that they wear, the Azure bonds that they wear. That's in scope. Saving a single person, like any outcome that you're going to make that's going to save a single person's life would be another option. Of course, who that would be and what happens when they come back is something to consider. A portal out of here is another. There's a lot of things like with a wish spell that you have to run through your options. I know you want to immediately do one thing, but you don't get this option a whole lot. So I think having 2 weeks to chat about that and agree on what you want to ask for would be a good point to pause.
I think you're onto something, DM Jamie, because worded right. A wish is level magic, old school war magic that's not even done anymore. You could totally cleanse somehow, spiritually free everybody from their curses and save us. If it's worded correctly, I think we should meet on this, guys. I think we should meet.
Yeah. Yep. You've got a couple of people that could use the help. I assume
but
you guys
I think we really need a way out too.
Hey, what's your weekend like?
I say write it all on a piece of paper and ask for the paper.
Same time tomorrow,
We
right?
want to raise
Yeah.
both of them and end up at the city
Well,
that
it'd be funny if it almost would be
our mage
funny
wants us to go
if
to.
everyone wrote one and then we randomly picked one of them. Like you had to write it in advance and show up with it, and then I just will roll and whoever I roll is the person whose wish and will comes true, because that's how the wish will work. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so think about it that way. Everybody think about what your character would be thinking about for this wish, and when I roll it next time, I'll put you on the spot and we'll figure out what you would be thinking.
Oh, yeah, I wish to be a wealthy lord in another realm.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're just gone.
Nod would wish to be not cursed by magic, so he wouldn't be a minotaur anymore.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
there's Nod. There's Nod. There's the tattoos.
Everybody's got something. But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys went with it. It wasn't an easy decision, I know, to go along with it. I thought it was a really bold choice, and it worked out well. Everybody played pretty well tactically in a combat that's could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
whoever survives.
Jump off the cliff strategy didn't work quite so well. But
yeah, I was just gonna say, whoever survives, a banner with a man falling off a cliff.
To actually do damage, though.
Yeah, it was actually it worked out. It worked out.
Seharn and Griff did damage.
Yeah, you were willing to take damage to yourself in order to get that shot off on it and get yourself into a better position. And it worked for the most part. It just could have been really epic if one of you had stuck it.
It did. Look where it got me, man.
Oh man, I feel bad. But hey, I have a feeling, Wayne, that we'll end up in a better place regardless of what happens.
Character doesn't, so what?
That's what I'm saying.
Survive, I'm not dead.
I look forward.
We still got this wish to deal with here.
Exactly.
If it doesn't, that's the way old school D&D was. Your dead PCs were thicker, the bigger pile than any living characters you had to go from campaign to campaign, right?
Yeah, and
that's true.
Right?
And I would say also narratively, we do still have one NPC that you guys brought with you is Iliac. He's someone that you could always be controlling as well until we figure out what's going on, or you could dump your NPC into, or your new PC into him. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure out a way that we want to do that. But for now, unfortunately, you have 2 preserved bodies and seemingly only one of them that could be saved maximum. But at least you have that choice to make. So.
Yeah, still need a portable hole.
Before we go, I'm still not seeing the 3rd sheet, so just.
Oh, I did put it in there. Let's see. I probably didn't give you the permission. Does anyone else?
Nice seeing everyone. I will see everyone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Thanks for playing.
Sounds good.
Thank you.